Hope y'all have done well since last week. I missed seeing you guys. That was nice. Those were good. And seeing Christine for like the first time in person. So,
Hello.
welcome everyone to BionD&D, where I
That's
drink
this.
and I tell people I know things.
I drink too. I just don't pretend to know things.
I exist.
I do neither of those things.
These are all
I'm
good.
dumb as shit.
These are all good things.
Oh, that's right. I wanted to at least have the chat open, even if I can't participate.
Why can't you participate?
Because my password got reset or something, and they won't cover it for me.
Oh, right, the Twitch one. I thought you meant the
Yeah,
Discord
yeah.
chat for some reason, and I was very
Oh, no.
confused. So, I'm gonna open up Roll20 because it's going to probably come into play here, but that'll just take a second.
Fuck. Okay.
You guys can go there too. It's not the biggest deal. Things are fog of war so you don't see anything you're not meant to.
Well, that's good.
But what if they weren't?
Well,
Cast
then you would see
shadow at
things
the
that you
magic
didn't have to. Did you say you cast shadow into the magic missile?
That doesn't sound like me. Nope. I'm just pulling up roll 20, man.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Cheers to that. Alrighty. So, last time we made a little girl cry, and it was a lot of fun.
Again.
Yay!
So to expound on that a little more, you found yourselves completing the maze before the Secretarium that you now find yourselves in, and this mage challenged you all in many ways. After splitting the group of you up, each of you encountered a stone-cursed being that upon defeating, you were presented with an obsidian skull that when touched gave you a vision. Everyone, that is, except for Wartalk, who decided to let Clanky touch the skull for him. So, that went well. Continuing right along, you kind of made your ways through the maze, noticing that the sun was not moving as it should at various times based on each of your individual skill and survival. But eventually, all of you realize that time is sort of stopping as you're getting deeper and deeper into this maze. And no sooner do you do so than you come to what looks like a dead end, each of you in turn. However, this dead end is not quite so dead as it would seem. On the walls in front of each of you, you found an orb that, when peering into its depths, began spinning about and giving you this glimpse into a magical gem that caused you to hallucinate. And each of your hallucinations were tailored to be particularly traumatic to each one of you based on your backstories. It was a lot of fun getting some of you to cry, getting some of you to just be really, really defeated, and some of you to just get really fucking pissed off. So that was a lot of fun, at least for me. I don't know about you.
It was a great role-playing session.
Let's go with that. And then upon overcoming or succumbing to these visions, you exited the maze and found yourselves in sort of a courtyard, whereupon, kind of being reunited, you shared a few tears for a moment before Wartalk screams up at the nothingness about exsanguinating whoever's responsible for making his dear little Kayana cry. And to that, a voice responds, asking, to whom is he speaking? The voice reveals itself to belong to an immense Goliath man named Travian. Travian seems to express some remorse at the role he plays in this kind of operation, but nonetheless seems to be attempting to uphold his position, and invites the group of you within, where he has not yet given you too much information, but has provided you with lodging for the evening, a place to stay, and some. I think he gave you food. He at least offered you food.
He offered. We did not take any of it.
Gotcha. Okay,
We don't trust like that.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
we're a little bit not super keen on accepting the hospitality of someone who's gonna potentially kill us.
I don't know why you think that. That seems silly. Why you gotta be like that?
I
Oh,
mean,
we
he
gotta
had
be
a
so-
whole bit where he talked about how he was tired of slaughtering people.
I mean, it would wear on anybody's consciousness.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but is the thing.
Yeah, it doesn't pay
Still
well. Benefits
not
are bad. No health insurance.
Yeah, see?
We don't know that.
Doesn't
We
even
don't know
get
who's
dental.
funding this gig.
I don't know, maybe he can just stop.
Could you just stop?
Could
Yeah.
you fucking not?
That's basically how I want to approach this. You don't have to do this. You can just stop.
It's time to stop.
But
Yeah.
before we attempt to meme Travian into submission, there is another
Oh,
matter
I'm
to
not
take
memeing.
care of.
Yeah, sure is.
As the group of you went to bed, Wartok, as is his custom, didn't, and stayed awake throughout the night. When it was Kayana's turn to take watch, they exchanged a few words before a presence was suddenly felt in the room with them. And as Kayana turns to look at it, it is none other than the Raven Queen. There, as close to in the flesh as you have ever seen her, a much more solid figure than is normally presented in your visions. And as we jump back in, she says, I guess I owe you some answers, don't I?
Just taken aback with some shock momentarily first.
Hi.
And yeah, I'm like doubling at Warthog and just like making sure he can see this. And he absolutely can.
So, not that either of you would necessarily know, but Wartok, the figure you see is not the same figure that Kayana sees.
Oh, what do I see?
Yes.
What does Wartok find attractive?
Oh, Nick.
Hold on, I've got to think of not the first 5 things I thought of.
Okay, but what
Okay.
were those?
Were
What
they
were those first 5
tentacles,
things?
tentacles, 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 and tentacles?
5
Man, you
different
nailed it.
tentacles.
Uh,
Big booty bitches. Sorry.
Straight, I guess. I'll put it that way. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that enough?
sure.
Okay.
So, I mean, in no uncertain terms, the figure that Wartok sees is the most astonishingly beautiful woman he has ever laid eyes upon. Just radiant with beauty, absolutely stunning, enticing in every way he can conceive of. That is what he sees. As many as he wants there to be, no more, no fewer.
Okay, noted.
I don't know how many that is, but it's that many.
Warthog's Secret King's Journal.
I don't think it's that secret.
It's
Not that secret. Sorry.
Anyway. Hi.
So,
You're here.
she kind of looks between the two of you. She greets you, Wartok. Hello. And she looks back at you, Kayana, and says, well, as here as I can be. I wouldn't say I'm fully in the flesh, but I can manifest a bit more fully in this place.
Oh, how can you do that? How does something like that happen?
Before I answer, a quick warning. My power is still limited. I can answer you more directly, but I can only give you perhaps 3 questions.
Oh, I
So,
see.
out of character.
Okay.
You are basically casting the spell Commune. Is kind of how this is working, but it does not have to be a yes or no question. It can be more complex than that. However, there is a limitation that you will find out as we continue.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Hmm. Making it very hard to narrow that down. I have so many questions.
Take your time, but not too long. The other gods are already somewhat frazzled by the amount of time I've been spending with this world.
I see. Okay. Now, you... the last time you appeared, you said there was... And this is mostly me asking the DM because my memory is a little bit... a little bit not completely there.
Okay.
There was something she told me that she couldn't reveal, that there was a limitation on, but I don't quite remember what that was.
Oh gosh, was this the last time?
Yeah, this was the last time. It was like 2 weeks ago.
Can you give me any context? Because I don't recall off the top of my head, but I may be able to if you jog my memory a little bit.
Why me? Why me in particular?
Okay, yes.
What is it I'm actually doing here? Something along those lines.
How much do you remember of your life before?
None of it. I don't remember a single thing.
I see. Then that would probably lend itself somewhat to your confusion. How do I put this? Give me a moment, if you will. And she kind of pauses and puts her head down and begins to kind of ponder through, trying to decide how to, like, break things to you about your former life without, like, shocking you.
Oh, I'm all ears. I just want anything.
When you were in the Feywild, you were a prodigy in no uncertain terms. In a dozen years of life, you had surpassed some of the greatest magic users in the entire universe. It was astonishing, really, the power that you held. And we had been discussing for some time the possibility of sending someone. Myself and a few of the other gods held a council to determine who that might be. You seemed to be the clearest answer, as we thought that you had the best chance of some of your power transferring over into this world. Most other magic users did not have the same connection to the weave that you do, and would have been unable to pick their use of magic back up quite so easily. It has taken this world many hundreds of years to regain even a sliver of magical knowledge because of the sundering of the planes. You have made progress much more swiftly than that.
Ah, dang it, I want some clarification on this, but I only have 2 more questions. Fuck.
Can I have more than 2 questions?
I don't think it works like that. Hold on. Oh, shoot. Nick, no.
Sorry.
Oh boy.
Oh gosh. So what?
Also, if somebody would somebody send a message to the chat just so that I can see if it updates on my phone? I'd like to be able to monitor it, but I don't know if I can. Sorry, continue.
That's fair. So why would the other gods have felt it necessary to
Got it.
send
Thank you, Harley.
someone here? From everything I can tell, the gods don't seem to be very interested in this world.
Quite the opposite. We are more hands-off with it because it is dangerous. We wanted someone in this world because we needed to keep an eye on things, per se. And it's a little bit easier for us to communicate with you.
I suppose that makes sense. The that signature is still present around me, I guess. Was this something that myself and the people around me, not the gods, but the people, like my parents, did I consent to this? Is everyone aware of this?
Those who needed to know, such as your parents, are indeed aware. You were a little young. Your parents gave their consent. We talked to you about it, but you were so young as to make it unlikely that you would really understand the full gravity of what you were being asked. But yes, you were conferred with and gave what consent a 9-year-old could give, or a 12-year-old could give. How old were you when you came here? 12.
It was 3 years ago, so 14?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're 17 now. Yes.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Just...
Time is weird for the gods. That's my excuse.
That's fair.
Especially around these parts.
Oh gosh.
Indeed.
There is actually one more small thing I wish to ask you.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That is an 18 plus 6, so 24.
She kind of begins to fade, and then as you say this, she hesitates. She kind of looks over her shoulder and gives a brief nod, and then kind of rematerializes. Make it quick.
Oh, of course. How much time has passed back home? Do my parents miss me? I hope it hasn't been too painful for them.
Other than this area, the flow of time is relatively the same. They do, of course, miss and love you very much. They're proud of you, you know.
Thank you.
Goodbye. She kind of fades, and after a moment you don't see anything of the figure that was once there.
There's something I kind of want to try before we get ready for the day.
Okay.
Okay. Seeing as how she was somewhat more defined and materialized, curious how my face step is going to work in this type of space. I just kind of want to just real quick do a little in and out.
Okay. So you use your face step, and as you Wartalk, you see as Kayana just kind of
I just blink for a second.
disappears
Do
into
you
like a puff
say anything
of
before
air.
this happens?
Just a I wonder.
Okay. Okay, that's fine then. Yeah, I'll take that.
So, as you disappear, it's relatively similar. It's still a bit disorienting, and the world is very, very dark. But unlike when you've cast it before, there's actually several things you can still see. You actually can see one thing you couldn't see before, and kind of, I'm imagining you kind of facing the door to the room that you came in.
Probably.
So making that assumption, kind of in front of you and off to the right, you see a faint glow from what looks like a rough kind of icosahedric object. Not quite spherical, but like rough, but round. Um, you see this kind of glowing object over there, and you see kind of the faint outlines of everything nearby it, and you can also see, just kind of faded, the outlines of the things around you. They're still kind of darkened and less defined than they have been when when you were in the material part of this world.
Right.
But not quite so dark as when you cast it typically.
Right, it's not a black void completely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's very interesting. I say as I pop back in.
I agree. Absolutely. No, that's fascinating. Truly. So who was that?
That was the Raven Queen.
There were less feathers than I imagined.
Actually, Kayana, when you see her, there's probably a good number of feathers.
Yeah, there are. She is. I mean, she wears a feathered cape for me.
Sure. So that was weird.
Oh yeah, it usually is.
Okay.
Wartalk, I'd like you to make a wisdom check for me.
Ooh.
All right.
A straight check, not a saving throw.
17.
Okay. You know you've never seen the Raven Queen before, but something felt familiar about that encounter.
Like familiar from my boy.
It's hard to put your finger on.
Don't like that. Okay. You know, I don't know. That seemed a little familiar, but no idea why. Huh. Well, you got some questions. That was good. It sounded like you
Yeah.
don't normally get to ask her questions.
No.
At least
No,
not with
I
straight
don't.
answers.
No, yeah, not with straight answers. It seems like when you talk to Ambition, you get a much more forthright response than I usually do.
Yeah. It's probably pretty straightforward. Kind of like that, except instead of saying you have 3 questions, it's normally just like we talk and then he just kind of bamps me out of there. Something. So. But
Hmm. How does it like feel when he talks to you? Is there like some sort of like physical thing that goes with it?
um,
DM.
So, you
I
you can
think it feels
definitely
like a
like
dreamlike state, is what you've
it
said.
feels a little trance-like, but you can also like the first time that you met him, I mentioned that you could feel the power radiating from him. So like you have a bit of tactile sensation, but say like, the first time you were in contact with him, it was underwater, but you didn't like feel like you were swimming. So it's kind
Okay.
of it's kind of trance-like you're in a suspended physicality. You're not fully there, but you're kind of there.
Okay. It's sort of like dreamlike, kind of like I'm not all there.
Hmm.
Yeah. I could definitely feel power coming from him. That's to be expected.
And that does
All
line
right
up.
then.
Like you can feel power when the Raven Queen is in the room, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if it is just a vestige of her.
Interesting. Man, this is so weird.
Excellent. That's what I want.
That was actually precisely what I needed after today.
Good. Yeah. Seems like.
I guess I'm a little bit still confused as to why. Well, maybe I'm not that confused. I understand why they'd want tabs on this place on account of everything that's going on.
The timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and also, like, King of Dane destroying everything.
Right, the apocalypse stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Oh, right,
apocalypse
that.
stuff. I understand wanting to keep tabs on that, I guess.
That little side quest.
Yeah.
I guess it still seems odd in a way.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. I just imagine that, well, if the gods are all powerful, isn't this something that they could do themselves?
I think the
Make a
problem is
religion
they-
check.
Uh, 13.
That's enough. The gods are not like truly omnipotent.
Okay.
In comparison to mortals, they are, but like another god can like injure and even in extreme circumstances kill another god. It is possible. There are things that
Oh,
are
yeah.
threats to them.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just I'm thinking like, why use a mortal to do their reconnaissance for them instead of them just coming here themselves?
That is a fair question, and one that you may want to ask the next time you commune with her.
That's
Damn
fine.
it!
That's fine. I had considered it, but
Yeah, no, I don't think the 3 questions that you asked were bad. I'm just... If you'd like to keep a log.
that would be smart of me to do, actually. I'll remember it for next time.
Also, just FYI, if anybody had like a weird lapse with the D&D Beyond stuff on our campaign, like the content sharing, that should be fixed now. It was a holdover from when my credit card number changed.
Had to do it.
Okay, I think everything's fine. Huh. All right, well, I guess I'm gonna get a little bit more rest in before
Yeah, you need it.
the day
Bravo.
starts.
Yeah.
It actually is dark within the Secretarium right now,
Right,
but not
yeah.
outside.
Yeah. Like, the sun isn't exactly rising or setting.
Yeah, just a bit.
By the way, real quick question.
Sure.
The beds that he summoned.
Uh-huh.
What's the frame? What are the frames made out of?
Brass.
Dang. Carry on.
I mean, like the bedding itself is very soft, but the frame is brass.
I'll keep looking.
Okay.
What do you...
Something to easily show the passage of time.
Oh. Yeah, that would...
Okay.
Hmm.
As you kind of look about for a few things, nothing in the room seems to catch your eye. And Kayana, you
Find a clock. Sorry.
kind of you head back to sleep. And do you want to wake anybody else for a watch, or do you just want to let Warthog do his thing?
I'm just gonna be resting for 1 more hour.
Okay. No worries. Okay, Warthog, make a perception check, just for shits and giggles.
Yay! Let's not get everyone killed. Okay, this doesn't work as a dice tray. 7.
Wait, 7?
No, sorry. Perception. Yeah,
17.
Yeah, for real though, 17.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Yeah, the evening passes uneventfully. The sun crests over nothing. However, you do notice the chamber lightning. it's almost like you don't see a source of light, but nonetheless, like the chamber just grows more and more illuminated very steadily as what you would assume is morning comes about. This wakes up pretty much everybody. It's hard to sleep with, the lights on, and especially when that light is so convincingly daylight colored.
The
Man,
DM casts daylight.
time and space is acting all wonky and shit, but we're still bound to melatonin.
It's like
The worst.
absolute worst.
Yeah, that apocalypse shit, nothing. Being bound by circadian rhythms and shit, fuck
God.
that.
Yeah, that must suck for y'all.
So as the group of you is roused, there is a
Whoa.
knock on your door.
I'll answer it.
Who's there? Dang.
Travian is outside with a large tray of food. I didn't know if you all wanted breakfast, but we do have a decent preparation every morning, if you're interested. On the plate is an array of meats, cheeses, eggs, and bread.
Where do you get the food from?
Yeah.
Are you talking about where we source it, or how we make it?
Source it.
It is magically created.
I'm gonna frown a little bit as I sample one of the pieces of meat.
So yes, you can tell the difference. It is definitely created by magic, but it's actually like cooked and prepared by normal means. So it's actually quite good. It's not quite good berry level, but like I think you all have had food that was made by Create Food and Water before.
I believe so.
So that's like
I'm sure.
pretty bland. It's not very interestingly flavored or anything. This has definitely been like professionally prepared, so it's definitely better than Create Food and Water, but it's not like as fully flavored as a true meal would be. But it's pretty good.
It'll do, I guess. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And he kind of hands the full tray to you. I'll be back in, say, half an hour to collect you.
Collect us?
Collect us. Where
Yes.
are we?
You see, now that you're here in the Secretarium, there are a few trials you, if you choose to, shall undergo. If you pass these trials, you will be rewarded with a great treasure. If you fail, you will be asked to leave and never return. If you refuse to comply, you will be dealt with.
So killed.
Question.
Yes, but I think we give you quite the fair shake to just walk away before you come back and try and
That's
die.
obviously not gonna happen. That's where I was going. So if we fail, we might also die.
Oh no,
Those kinds of things? No.
we wouldn't let you die.
Oh. I'm so confused. So you're just gonna test us, and then like we won't die, but if we fail, we get kicked out.
Yes.
Man, I really thought you were just murdering people up here. To be honest.
Yeah.
If they show a certain let me put it this way. If we think we are in danger of dying, you will die.
Oh. That's exactly what I was thinking. Oh man.
Now,
Not
some
that I was
folks
thinking
have
about killing.
some folks have come here and driven themselves mad within the maze. That is regrettable, but we didn't kill them. Some have beaten the maze and come in here and tried to defeat us. That did not end well for them. So far, no one has won, and only one person has failed and gracefully left.
Do you have a name by chance?
Give your DM just a second.
Very blue jeans.
Cotton-eyed Joe?
Where did he come from?
Where did he go?
No,
Only
where
one
did he
man
come
left-
from?
Only one man left gracefully. His name was Tim.
The one they call Tim.
Where are you?
Right here. You're just kind of staring off into space, Mr. Goliath. Are you okay?
No, I'm dying.
Long night. Oh, I see. Okay.
Warthog smiles. Good.
Excellent.
I think I'm gonna go get a drink while you're looking this up. I'm
Please
still
do.
here. I'm still listening. I need something to swallow my meds with. Oh, Jesus.
So how's that meat, Jeff?
It's all right.
Okay.
It's not the best I've ever had, but it'll do.
It's fair. It's fair. Sleep well, Ilya?
I mean, I had a flaming
Oh,
centipede
shit.
a couple weeks ago. That was fantastic.
That's right. It was you.
Oh, no. No.
No.
No.
Dang
Not
it,
like
Ilya.
this.
We weren't talking about that.
Not while Jeff's in the room.
What?
Oh,
She
right.
said not while Steph has a broom.
Huh?
What? Now I'm more confused.
Well, you see, Steph was a witch, and when Steph had a broom, they were much more powerful. So yeah, okay, yeah, Mr. Goliath, hi.
Her name was Khalil.
Her name was Khalil. Okay.
Go ahead and
Out
make...
of character. Does this ring a bell?
Yeah, so go ahead and make a history check.
Well, I think I'm good at history.
11.
History 19.
15.
19.
18.
Actually, Ilya, you would... well, yeah, sure. The DC's just higher for you. And an 18 actually does not cut it.
Damn it! Fuck!
However, Kayana, you recall the name.
Yay.
When the group of you were back in Agrola the second time around,
Yeah.
you were researching with Pentram in his library, and you
I
recall
was.
a tome that kind of held logs from the voyages of a Captain Khalil. She
Oh, yes.
made her way off of the western, sort of northwestern coast of Erevar, and made her way to kind of a small archipelago where she was lost in a thick fog that kind of surrounded the chain of islands. She couldn't really navigate through it and was forced to turn back. This was many years ago, and there weren't really too many records of more recent voyages on her account, but the name is familiar to you. At least, it's also the name Khalil.
That rings a bell.
She was an accomplished sea captain.
Oh yeah, then it's totally the one.
Yes, she
What happened to her?
oh she made it a good way through. Got to the third set of challenges before succumbing to one. But she was given her passage out, and as far as we know, lived out the rest of her days peacefully. She never came back.
Interesting. And this is, well, I don't know. I guess this is an in-character, both an in and out-of-character question. So what was with that display like last time, where he's just like, "Well, I guess I'm just gonna have to kill you."
Wait, when y'all first met him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a bit of intimidation, but also I would have fought you. And you may have gotten very near dying, but we wouldn't have let you die.
So it's more to not have to deal with people unless they're actually determined to.
The
A little bit of
entire
scare tactics.
the entire place is designed to determine whether or not you are worthy. If you are cowed before such shows of intimidation, you are likely not worthy. If you are unable to defeat myself in combat, you will likely not be able to face some of the more difficult challenges later on. In your case, we came to a different agreement. That is, I hated seeing a small girl cry and decided not to try and kill you. Or nearly kill you.
Yeah. Good.
Just gonna duck a little bit more behind Wartak after that one.
I am sorry. If it is any consolation, and I'm not sure it will be, but I don't exactly know the visions that each of you are shown. It's not as though I am the one crafting them. I enchanted the maze to penetrate your psyches and discover something that would work.
It's kind of a dick move.
It was what I was instructed to do.
He's not killing us right now.
Make no mistake, these trials are not to be taken lightly. They're not easy. And it will require true courage and true heroism to overcome them.
Crap.
We simply don't believe in killing in cold blood.
That's good at least.
I hate you
How-
substantially less now.
Well, thank you.
How many of you are you when you refer as like we and us?
You see him kind of... He gets a little bit of like a wistful look in his eyes.
Not as many as he wants.
Many fewer than we once were. Many fewer. Our numbers are 24.
Okay.
We are the last of the Ulvar. Our legacy is to find one worthy of the treasure we hold, and once that is complete, I don't know what will happen to us.
So you might be free when we prove ourselves worthy, or
We
unknown.
may also die. The enchantment that causes the wind to swirl as a barrier around this place, and that changes the nature of time within its walls. It was the first of its kind. Nothing like it had been tried before. As such, when it is lowered, as it must be when the item is taken from this place, we don't know exactly what will happen.
Okay.
But
Fair.
do not let that deter your efforts. Someone must claim it, or terrible things may come to pass.
Yeah, we know. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're aware of that.
Understood.
How much do you know of what may lie within this place?
I mean, specifics, no. We've been at a similar-ish place before. He
yeah.
rammed a lot of stuff.
It's true. Jeff knocked a lot of stuff over.
Well, I mean, it worked.
It was a temple of Torm, and there were likewise trials for us to face. An uninvited
Oh.
guest.
Jocelyn's monks. How fared they?
Yes.
Wasn't there only like one guy left?
Yeah. Not that well.
Yeah, Demon got to the place.
Yeah.
Kind of messed things up a lot.
You see, kind of the strongest emotion you've seen him show. A tear actually begins to well up in his eye.
Oh God, don't do this to me.
I see.
Well, I mean, we killed the demon, so things should be quiet there now, but
He kind of, a la the police officer in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, kind of sniffs and like the tear goes away. I see.
Yeah, I ripped its head off.
He did.
I appreciate
I
that.
did.
If he had
The
any hand
entire
in
time
the...
this whole conversation is going on, Ilya's just kind of looking back and forth between everybody, like, what the fuck?
I know exactly what gift that you're. That would
Yep.
be perfect.
Yep. And did you retrieve anything from this temple?
I hold
just
the
motioned
Atarax.
to Jeff.
I unsheath Atarax and just like this.
And what do you know of it?
Not. Personally don't know a whole lot other than it's magical and I don't know, it can emit a lot of light magical power that we used to turn back a siege somewhere.
Yes. Atarax is its name.
Yes.
The weapon of Jocelyn was designed to end conflict. It's a powerful weapon, to be sure, but it also has a unique ability, that to calm those nearby it, to deter them from fighting if there is another path. She was one of the best of us. So, yes, a similar item lies within these halls. And should you overcome these trials, you will be rewarded with it. It is a bow of sorts, wielded by the elf Falandwir. Falandwir was a peerless archer. His accuracy was unparalleled in the entire world. Not only this, but he was noble to a fault. He truly embodied the spirit of all that is lawful and just. His weapon is called a thing that your DM will tell you in just a moment.
That's a lot. That's a mouthful.
It's called black hair dye.
He was actually black-haired.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I wrote that down in
Yeah.
my notes.
Yeah. It set him somewhat apart from the other elves. His bow was called Ortiarch. He could summon and dispel it at will. And when he was...
Sounds like something Ilya can do with her axe.
When he was at his peak, he could use the bow to summon a set of spectral guardians that would defend him from any nearby attackers.
Okay.
That sounds pretty useful.
But these weapons are more powerful the more of them are wielded, and so I'm unsure if it would be able to do that in its current state. None of us here can wield it, so we haven't been able to try.
I have a question.
I'll do my best to answer.
Can this weapon change form like Atarax can?
It can.
Okay, I was just wondering because this started off as a glaive and then it became a hammer and now it's a longsword.
Yes.
Are they all like that?
As far as I'm aware, they are all able to reconstruct themselves to suit the needs of their bearer.
Okay.
Out of character. I had to figure out some way to make it so that if y'all die, it doesn't just like ruin the whole plot line.
Yeah. Honestly, it's really cool though.
When
Good.
when would we lose somebody that's holding one of these weapons? Come on.
Only twice, you know. This one weapon has had 3 owners so far. Also, Jeff, it's not boding well for you.
Yeah, the weapon's cursed. Sorry, Jeff.
Wait. It's by my
Wait,
third
it's
eye
had
will protect
3
me.
owners? Who
Yeah.
had it before?
Jocelyn was first, I imagine, and then it was Kellum, and then Kellum
Jeremiah.
left the team. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy.
Yeah, Jeremiah used it briefly, and then he died.
Uh-huh.
So anyway,
What's wrong?
okay. Well, that's good. So yeah, I guess we'll wake up and rest
Actually,
for a
wait,
bit,
no.
and then
Jeremiah never wielded it, did he?
No, he
No.
didn't, because he died right
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, he
Shit.
died right before we
Yeah.
could get it.
Yeah,
He
no,
got
that's right.
another weird glaive though.
Yes, he did. That was
Yeah.
just his pact weapon. So
Oh, well
the
then.
the reason I
It
was
was
misremembering
designed for him.
was because he made his pact weapon look like Atarax's initial form. That was where my confusion came in. That's why.
I always thought
Mm.
Jeremiah was a cowboy.
No, Jeremiah was a
Mhm.
bullfrog.
Yeah.
He was indeed a
Get out.
bullfrog.
Both, really. I mean, cowboy bullfrog.
That sounds kick-ass, and I'm making
Yeah.
a D&D character that is a cowboy bullfrog.
It's already in UA.
Grun gunslinger.
Yeah! Oh!
Fuck yeah. All right,
Wait,
so
we're just back to Kermit.
Fair enough.
Why is frogs with guns an archetype now?
Why not,
It's a
yo?
good
Just
one.
be like that.
Alright,
They be that
anyway.
way sometimes. Anyway, I suppose we should.
Let's finish breakfast
Get
and
to
I
it.
guess get going.
Yes, I'll be back in a little while.
Okay.
He leaves you to
Alright.
your own devices.
I'm just gonna start eating.
Okay. Do y'all want to do anything over breakfast, or just wait till he comes back?
Y'all sleep okay? Well, except Warthog.
He doesn't sleep, remember?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, slept well enough.
I had a weird dream last night.
Yeah.
What about?
Were you
I don't know.
spoken to again?
I was just, I don't know. It was like I was back at home. I was just chilling in bed after like a long day. And I look over at my window and I see a raven standing right in the window. And I know what was going on. I reached out to try and touch it, but even though I reached as far as I could, the window seemed to like keep moving away from me, and
Yeah.
I just could not get to that raven. It was
You
so
know-
weird.
That's
had a
so
s-
weird.
Yeah, I had a similar dream, Jeff.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What was yours about? Was it like the same or?
Basically.
Okay.
Matt, do you want me to roll deception?
Yeah, she didn't like go away from you. Well, she kind of
No.
did.
Shoot, yeah.
Metaphorically.
Roll deception with advantage because there's enough truth to it
Yeah.
that
It's fair.
I got a nat fucking 20.
with disadvantage.
No, with advantage. You said.
Sorry, advantage. Sorry, yeah, my bad.
Roll it again. Double 20s.
Yeah, okay.
Do it.
Sounds like she's being forthright, Jeff.
Okay, that's neat. What about you, Ilya? Did you sleep okay?
I mean, it's kind of cold in here.
It is.
Shitter's like, man, y'all had some weird raven dreams.
Is it
Wait,
really,
Also,
is
yeah,
it
there
really
was
cold
a,
in
There
here?
was a raven dream.
As you say that, Ilya, the room warms slightly.
Oh, don't like that.
Oh god, there's...
Oh, yeah. I liked it better when it was cold.
I liked it better when it didn't seem like they're listening to each and every word we say.
I liked it
Hey,
better
if
when
you're
my glass
listening, please
was
turn the
full.
temperature back down.
Don't
Does
listen
anything
to-
happen?
It kind of goes to like a middle between the two.
Okay, this is fine. This is fine.
Yeah, well, I'm ready to start the day.
Yep.
Can you make a strobe light effect?
Nothing happens to that one.
Alright, that's fair.
Ready to go.
Can minor illusion make a strobe effect?
Yes.
I'll make a strobe effect in front of her.
Okay.
Oh god.
Roll for epilepsy.
Wait. Wait.
There is a mild strobing as Travian knocks on the door and says, "Ready yet?"
Yes, I was as
yeah.
ready as we'll ever
I
be.
believe so.
kind of opens the door and got warmer in here. Oh, you found out, huh? The building has many enchantments on it, but one of them is to adjust the temperature when asked.
Wait,
That sounds
What-
so useful.
what would happen if
Oh
I
my
asked for it
God.
to be a very, very large number, like colder? I
Oh,
don't
it
want to
wouldn't
say
work. We
Okay, cool.
we we limit it on either side.
Okay,
Limited so
that's
that we
smart.
don't die.
That's smart.
Well, mostly so the boilers work. The Goliath race can withstand quite extreme temperatures.
Oh.
Which is why
That's
it may feel a bit cold to you in here. We tend to like it on the cooler side.
Nah, it feels great. It feels great to me. I liked it better when it was cold.
Pretty okay with it.
You and me both. So, do you feel ready?
Yeah.
Very
As
well.
ready as we'll be, I guess.
Now, I cannot offer you direct help. I cannot give you the solution to any of the problems you are presented with, nor can I assist you in combat. And on that note, in fact, neither can your large metallic friend. We will have to hold him for the time being.
Okay. But if you do any harm to him, I'll make true on the promise I made you before.
Fair enough. Would you mind if we took a look at him, promising no harm will come? He seems to be made of, well, with similar magic to our own. We may even be able to improve upon him a little.
Clanky?
Indeed.
No, not you.
No, that's not Clanky.
Make an insight check.
Clunk, clunk.
This is the third 15 I've rolled.
Nice.
17.
Clanky seems very at home here. He seems very comfortable with his surroundings. And he kind of just, yeah, he's pretty much okay for anything.
All right. Yeah, just take care of him. You know.
Oh,
Oh, he's got. I'll run him through the modifications he already has done. The
Travian kind of scratches his chin a bit and, impressive. And, this may be a strange question, but how difficult was it to find someone able to do this?
We just kind of stumbled on him.
Hmm.
I don't reckon there was many people. It was just kind of like the one probably that we've seen, but
He is
just kinda stumbled on
talented. It's decent work.
him. So when we get y'all all out of here, we'll introduce you.
Yeah, if we survive, I'll take you up on that.
Okay.
Well, so I cannot offer you any direct aid, but I will be walking with you, offering you what I can. I've decided to act as a guide of sorts. No one else has had this before, so I hope you understand the import. I'm sticking my neck out a bit.
Alright.
So, let us continue. On this floor, you will be put through a series of test trials. They're simpler, but interesting nonetheless. They'll introduce you to the ideas that you'll encounter in more complex forms later on. This will serve as a bit of a baseline. So, if you'll follow me, and he kind of gestures the group of you out into the hallway where you came from originally. And again, you see this like vast room spreading out before you. Kind of rounds a corner and extends past your field of view. You can hear as you exit your kind of secluded little room, you can hear the faint hissing of steam and a rhythmic clunking and ringing, all that's kind of underscored by this faint thrumming buzz. The metallic tiles beneath your feet are spotlessly clean, and the walls gleam in an almost golden metallic hue. Though there are no visible sources of light, by this point in the quote-unquote day, The hallway is very well lit. You don't see any sconces or braziers, but nonetheless, you can see clearly, as though you were in daylight. As he kind of walks you forward and down the hallway, your footsteps are kind of muffled by the sounds that kind of surround you and float on the air ambiently in this space. At the far end of the hall, once you kind of turn the corner, you see a gleaming metal table. Now, to your right is a doorway, and this table is kind of to your left as you turn around the corner. On the surface of the table are several scrolls, a lantern, a few scattered vials and beakers, and what looks to be kind of a glowing stone of some sort. It's kind of this roughly spherical object that glows softly.
Are we in roll 20 now?
You can be.
Okay.
Actually, yes, sure. Let's say you are in roll 20 now.
Yay!
Can you perhaps give me control over Shadra because Cody's not here?
I can. Can't use the camera. That's annoying.
Use the arrow keys for some reason.
Oh.
Okay, you should be
Cool.
good now. And
We are
let me
good now.
Let me get somebody to act as Travian, even though he won't be, like, really there, but, like, for combat purposes, but,
He's
something.
there in spirit.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? We don't have, like, a Goliath thing, so we're gonna see if there's a giant that would work.
Big dude with muscles.
Cool.
Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus.
He's not that.
he got a lot smaller.
There we go. That's more reasonable. All right.
He is big.
So, you can see the table at one end of the hall and a doorway that he's kind of beginning to walk towards. Do you all want to follow him, divert? What you want to do?
We'll follow, I guess. I mean, he is our guide.
Yeah, if you tell he's gonna be the guide, I'll follow him.
Okay.
As we're going through them, what's on that table over there?
Just a few odds and ends for our artificery.
Ah.
It's interesting if you have any skill with magic, which it looks like you do.
Well,
Okay, so he moves into the next room, and we're gonna fuck around with roll 20 for a second here.
Oh, word.
Okay,
Why are you biting my elbow?
so
Because tasty.
the noise grows louder. The ambient sound grows louder
Yeah.
as you approach this other room, and the smell of ionized air begins to fill your nostrils, and you can kind of taste metal on the roof of your mouth. This
Oh, God.
enormous room spreads out before you, and the din of whirring gears and clanking metal makes it almost a bit difficult to think. As you kind of acclimate, you can see to your left what looks like a quartet of boilers. But from out of these boilers, colored arcs of plasma spout forth from release valves. They shine in these like various colors, blues and greens and reds and golds, all strike forth into the air before dissipating a few feet from their source.
I guess you got your strobe lights after all.
I was gonna say quartet of boys. There's
Yeah.
just a quartet of
It's just
boys hanging
a
around.
quartet of like castraltos just singing a nice little like.
We're your background music.
Yep.
Oh my god, if only there was a quartet of boys narrating our adventure in the song.
They fucked up. They fucked up. They fucked up.
They fucked up. I mean,
Wait,
I
no.
could just record a barbershop quartet of me doing that and just play it constantly in the background, and
Yes.
it'd probably be pretty apt. Also, thank you for the
Yeah.
follow, whoever just followed us. There we go. Palmetto Knights. Hey guys. I don't know if it's just Larry or if it's other people, but thanks for the follow. Alrighty. Palmetto Knights were the guys that I fought with down in Colombia. It was a super great time. Someday I'll get back to it. But okay,
So
so
then he's gonna take his aggression out on us.
exactly.
Yay.
I know.
So directly opposite you in this room is another kind of gleaming metal table similar to the first, but this one seems to be more ceremonial in purpose. There is a rune on the floor in front of it, and its surface is bare, but for a kind of off-white skirt that billows beneath its polished surface. To your right, you discover the source of the words, the source of the noise. An immense brass automaton in the corner to your left. Its half-dozen arms cranking gears, pulling on large chains, and moving vats as big as you are. Steam blasts forth from valves and pipes surrounding it, whistling almost in time to the mechanical movements.
Thank you very much for your exposition, Bugs Bunny.
I hate this.
I quit.
Can
I
that
quit.
be the play game?
Yes, it can be. So-
Maybe we'll top it, but I don't know.
Despite the token in Roll20, actually, I should switch this to the battle cam for the stream.
Oh.
Despite the token in Roll20, it is not a humanoid automaton that you see. It is more almost spider-like. In fact, I'll be totally honest with a little bit of look behind the screen here. My inspiration for this was Mr. Kamaji from Spirited Away, the Boiler Man, with his
Hell yeah.
multiple legs, but like a super steampunked out version of him.
Fuck yeah.
So just imagine that, and there you go. He's off in the corner doing all this shit.
Slit sprites.
Yeah. So steam is just blasting forth upward and outward from the valves and pipes that are around him, and you get just this kind of weird cacophony of steampunk background music.
Okay.
Yeah. So Travian walks forward and says, "So your first pair of challenges are here. The altar that you see before you. There is a secret that it holds. In order to advance, you have to reveal that secret. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Cautiously walk towards the altar.
Okay. As you step towards it, you can make out a little bit more clearly the runes on the ground before it. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
Ooh. All right, I'm gonna use
I
my
would
new die.
also like to look at the circle.
Sure.
The new die has not failed me. Nat 20.
Nice.
Did better than me.
Do you need the actual total?
Let me see. No, actually, I don't think I do. That is enough to hit both DCs. So, as you are looking through these runes and kind of trying to... They're not exactly the same kind of runic languages that you have seen before, but they are similar enough that you can kind of decipher what they mean. And what you see is it's basically a set of instructions to activate the seal. And what you need to do is burn 3 items in order. One made of wood, one made of cloth, and one made of paper. However, as you continue reading, you get the sense that something is off. A few of the runes seem different, out of place. And one of them you can't quite decipher at all. And going through it for a little bit longer, you think that the rune that you cannot decipher is a trap. You think it is there to throw you off. And you have to do something else to disarm the trap before activating it. Exactly what that is, it's difficult to say. It doesn't give you particulars, but with a natural 20, actually, yeah, give me the total.
26 total.
Okay, sure. With that high of a score, the rune that means trap, you kind of trace it out on the back of a piece of paper, and you flip it over, and it is actually a rune that you have seen before that, as far as you can tell, means reverse.
Gotcha. Okay. So looks like it wants us to burn wood, then cloth, then paper. But there's a trap written in the runes. It basically, I believe it says reverse, so should probably burn paper, then cloth, then wood,
Okay.
and then we might not die.
That sounds like a good plan.
How's it look to you, Goliath, bro?
I don't think
Try it and see.
Alright. Do we have paper, then cloth, then wood? Do we have fire?
I mean, I have a tinderbox. We can start a fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are kind of three at sort of triangular points along the thing. There are 3 places in the circle for each item.
Okay. Oh, like that are already there? Ah,
Yeah. So you just have to
okay.
set the thing in there and burn it.
Gotcha.
Or so you surmise with your natural 20 Arcana check.
That'll do it.
Well,
I don't have any paper, but there's some scrolls on that table back there.
I have. Oh no, I'm not using his book. Sorry. I have cloth.
I also have cloth.
Do any of us have wood?
I suppose.
I have arrows.
That's wood.
That'll do.
Mr. Wait, what was your name again?
Travian.
Travian. Right, like a trait. Gotcha. Scrolls. That's some paper, right? Do you mind if we go grab one of those?
I can figure out the table of contents in my prayer book.
Let's save that for if we need to. We'll come back to that.
I don't need the table of contents. I'm just saying. I know this book inside and out.
Let me check if any of them are empty. He kind of turns and walks, disappears around the corner for a moment, and you hear some kind of rustling of papers at the end of the hallway. Oh, looks like one of them might be. Kind of unscrolls it. Oh, give me a minute.
Okay.
And he comes back a few moments later. There was something on it. I just wanted to transcribe it onto another one of the scrolls. It's nothing too important, and he hands it over to you.
Can I see what was inscribed on it?
Make an intelligence check. History, specifically.
Anybody else want to look?
Shade will look.
I got a 5 total.
You were the only one who could possibly recognize it.
Oh,
Actually, no, that's not true. Well, it's kind of true.
Super curious.
Let me give it a roll to see if it's one of the characters that she would recognize. Okay. Jeff, you want to roll history for Shadra?
Yeah. 19.
Okay. Shadra sees one of the symbols and goes, "Isn't that the same language as we saw in that puzzle room in the last place?" And Wartalk, you take out the journal from the Elverite Sanctum and you kind of flip through a couple of pages, and yeah, it looks like it's the same language.
What Travian, what language is this?
Oh, it's called Eltaran. I think it's one of the ones that your world forgot.
Okay. Yeah, that tracks. Okay.
That
Sorry,
was
we've seen it a little bit before.
somewhat by design. The only writings that you would find in it were explicitly excluded from the spell that wiped all written records from this world.
Oh, weird.
So if you ever find anything that was written in Elterran that you don't know was written more recently, it's likely from before the Scouring.
Why was it excluded?
In order that a few of us that may have recollection of it, such as the Ulvar or a select few other individuals, would have a way to communicate secretly, such that the world at large may not know precisely what we were trying to say, but we would still have a way to say it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna burn this now.
Very well.
Cool. Okay. So it was paper, cloth, wood.
Was it?
I believe.
I think it was
Yes.
wood,
That
cloth,
sounds
paper, and
right.
then it was reverse. Probably.
Yeah.
Or reverse is the trap, and we're gonna die.
Reverse, reverse.
Too much Uno in this house.
Oh man, do I need to break out the gay Uno reverse card again?
You
Why
might
do you not
need
just
to.
always have it? Yeah. So we'll go for it.
Also, I don't know if anybody's saying things in chat because apparently I can't connect to it anymore. I saw like your one message, Harley, and then I just nothing.
I haven't seen anything come through.
Okay, cool. Good.
Yeah.
I don't want to ignore chat if they're there. So,
No.
alrighty. So yeah, you're placing. You said paper, cloth, wood.
Yep.
Okay, and burning them in that order. As you do, each of them kind of catches in turn and is consumed by the flames, and the piles of ash that are left on the spaces within the circle kind of begin to disperse and fill out the ink on the ground. Despite what it looks like in Roll20, the ink is actually blue. There were just only red runes in Dungeon Fog. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So they kind of fill out until the blue ink is completely covered by this darker gray ash. And then all at once it kind of begins to glow. And you see that glow fade and fade until it is completely gone. And the rune itself has also disappeared. However, Kayana, with your passive perception, you notice a slight glow from underneath the table.
You said that there was a skirt under the table?
Yeah, so there's like a skirt surrounding the altar, and you can kind of see a faint light underneath of its hem.
Am I able to like pick it up and like
Sure.
look?
You actually see another rune inscribed on the underside of this altar.
Oh no.
Oh, huh.
Are we about to die?
I don't know. Are we? Let's take a
He
look
said
at
he
this.
wasn't gonna kill us.
Not yet.
Okay, cool.
Well, it
Thanks.
hasn't
Yeah.
exploded yet, so I guess that means we're doing something right.
Okay. That is a 21 total.
For Arcana?
Yes.
Okay, this seems to tell you that it requires a key of sorts. And you can, let's see, let me look here. You see a, what actually looks like almost an inscription of the room within this arcane circle. And the room that you're in, it points out the automaton and the four boilers. And on top of like the automaton is an orb-looking thing. And that orb is connected via. It's not like there's not like a literal line, but the runes that are kind of inscribed around this circle tell you that that orb is the key that you require.
Okay. And then, like, peeking outside and looking at the actual robot itself, there is an orb there.
Not that you can see.
Hmm.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. There's a key. This thing needs a key.
Okay.
And it's supposedly on top of the giant mechanical spider. Supposedly. Or at least the spider has it.
Probably.
How do we get it?
I've got an idea. Hey, Travian,
Okay.
what's the spider's name?
Name?
Does
We
that have a
haven't
name?
named it. No.
Ah, my God, you guys are the worst. Hey, Spudella. Hey.
I'm sorry,
Was
what?
that Spidella or Spoodella?
Yeah.
Spoon. Spooter.
Scooter.
I see.
I'm not
Dicker.
good with names, guys.
Kyle.
Him. No. Kyle, you just set him up for defeat.
Dr. Legs.
Brian.
No reaction, I assume.
From the
Brian.
automaton? No.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Hey,
Spider
Clanky
Brian.
Be
can
nice.
react to me.
Clanky has a name.
You also have
Well,
Clanky's
so does-
medallion of control.
Warthog doesn't know this stuff. This is the first automatons I've seen, alright?
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, you do know that you have Clanky's medallion of control, and that was crucial.
Yeah, but he also, like, reacted to us before we had the amulet.
Yeah, trying to kill you.
He
But fair.
Still
He
could
did try to
react to
kill
this.
us.
I'm not trying
That's
to,
true,
to
that's
reason
true.
with this thing. Yeah, I was trying to see if it was
That's fair. Yeah. Okay.
intelligent. Okay, I'll walk towards it.
Alrighty.
Go with him.
So as you do, you notice that some of the jets of steam are kind of coming outward. There's a little bit of a wall around it, and actually the floor that shows up on Roll20 is a lie. It's kind of a pit. He kind of descends
Oh.
into a pit. You can't quite like see the bottom of, mostly just because you're not getting close enough to look over, because some of the jets of steam are blasting outward a little bit past this wall, and you get the sense that they're quite hot. However, I would like you to make an investigation check.
Pager will do this as well.
Okay.
Pager got like a 27.
15.
Okay. Wartalk, you stand there kind of looking at it for a little while, and you're trying to like find where this orb might be, where it might be hidden. You know, you look at like as it's moving valves and like changing gears, you try and see if it's like in one of the pipes or something, and you can't catch a hint of it. And Shadra's kind of doing the same thing. She's peering at the same stuff, but you then notice her start pointing and kind of marking a bit of time and taking note and looking over her shoulder and looking back and taking note and looking over her shoulder. And she says, guys, the steam's the vents sometimes blow colored steam. And as she says this, you look and it's true. You see one of the vents immediately blow off a bit of gold steam or yellowish steam. And a bunch of them kind of blow just normal steam in between, and then you see another one with red steam. And then blue again. And then gold. And then red. And then blue.
Okay. So, guess I'm gonna click here. Think we should mess with this one, y'all?
Well, there are large bits of electricity coming out of it.
Jeff, tackle it. Use your third eye.
Wearing metal. That doesn't seem safe.
Third eye isn't
Getting
powerful enough,
cold
you're
feet.
saying? Weird. It's okay. I mean, I thought it was a cool third eye, but I guess, we were wrong.
Yeah, I thought
I
it
mean,
was awesome.
Yeah.
And those are your words.
Yeah.
it
that's-
was. But,
Are
like,
we just no ballsing Jeff right now?
Yeah.
No eyeballs.
do the
See?
boilers have any, like, controls on them?
Make an investigation check.
Jeez. Oh, I didn't do too bad. 19.
Yes, you actually see what looks like a large throw switch on the right side of it.
Okay. Does it look safe to approach despite the large beams of electricity?
Intermittently. Sometimes there is an arc of electricity quite close, and other times there is not.
You've literally eaten a fire lava sand. You're scared now.
Wow!
She
You're
has a
cautious
point.
now.
The whole party is just negging Jeff. This is great.
Fine, I'm gonna go to the rightmost boiler.
You're going to be reckless 99% of the time, and the one time we don't need you to be, you're cautious.
You said the rightmost boiler?
Yeah, the top. I guess the top one. This one.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to get a sense of the timing for when the bolts appear and disappear by the switch.
Okay, make a make a wisdom check, I guess.
15.
Okay, yeah, you're kind of measuring the timing. It's a little bit random, but you can kind of get like a minimum gap that you can see after like one of them arcs outward.
Is it a long enough gap for me to reach over there, throw the switch, and run back out of range?
Yeah, probably.
All right, I'm gonna go for it.
If you don't fuck it up, yes.
I want to mage hand trip him so bad.
All right, make a dexterity check, Jeff. Acrobatics.
Oh god, I'm not good at that. Natural 1.
You mistime it, and as you jump inward, you do it just you hesitate a little bit too much after the stroke, and you jump in, and like as you're trying to grab at the switch, another bolt of lightning arcs out from it, and you take 9 points of lightning damage.
Oof,
Careful.
All right, I'm gonna quickly retreat out of the way.
that's fair.
Maybe we
Um,
should be using Mage Hand.
Yeah.
Why
let
did
me
we
just
do that
try and-
first?
Let me just try. I'm gonna try and mage hand the boiler in front of me off.
It is too heavy.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh well, that's why I didn't do that. Can I throw something at the switch?
You could try.
All right,
Wait. Why are you picking me up?
Fastball special.
I'm gonna try to throw my boomerang at the switch to turn it off.
Okay, still the same one?
What do you mean, still the same one?
You're
The
still
same
going for the
boiler.
rightmost one?
Yeah,
top?
the same one. Yeah.
Okay.
J-
Make an attack
Jeff?
roll.
That's an 18 to hit the switch.
Okay, that definitely hits it. Roll for damage, quote unquote.
I hope I don't destroy the thing. Like 3.
Okay, yeah. You manage to chuck your boomerang at it, and it smashes the switch, kind of pulling it downward. The boomerang does not come back to you; it kind of clatters to the ground because of the impact. And I'd like Jeff and Wartalk to make dexterity saving throws.
Hurt me.
Oh, sorry.
7.
16.
All right. So while this is happening, wait, Jeff. Why are you?
Wartalk, you take 26 points of lightning damage.
Oh,
Jeff,
Why
you
are
take
you hitting that one?
you take 13.
I'm good.
I'm really sorry. I rolled 2 10s and a 6. I rolled way fucking above average.
Jeff.
What?
Jeff,
What?
hit the one that matches the colors of the steam.
Oh,
Ow.
sorry. All right. Everyone else back up, okay?
Does anyone else taste fried food? Tastes like
Tastes kind of
Like
like
fried
fried
chicken?
fish or chicken. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Fish might be closer because you're of the water.
yeah. Yeah.
You're the other white meat.
Mm. It's probably fine. You know what? I'm gonna go sit down by the door. You got this, Jeff. I believe in you.
Sorry.
Do you want some healing?
Oh, I don't want to trouble anybody. Yes.
Yeah, hold on. Let me help you out here, buddy. How much damage was that? That was...
He
26.
took 26 damage.
Alright, I'm gonna use... Oh my god. Jeffrey!
It was 11 points above average.
Okay, I'm going to use
This is what I get for
Jeffrey
not
checks
mage
mix.
hand tripping him.
Jeffrey! Okay. I'm gonna use a cure wounds of my warlock
Okay.
spell levels. So that's gonna be third.
Is that doable? Wait, does that work like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't
so you
know
can
either.
use the thing even if it's not on the class spell list. You still use that spell level.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. Good to know.
Yeah, I learned that by using D&D Beyond.
D&D
Yeah.
Beyond,
Not
everybody.
sponsored.
Yeah, we're
That
not
is
sponsored,
good.
but hey, if you want to sponsor us like you do Critical Role, just let me
But
know.
we could be.
It's possible. Anything's possible with D&D Beyond. I promise my ads won't be as offensive as Sam Riegel's.
Then what's the point? I will make your ads as offensive as his.
They'll be almost as offensive as Sam Riegel's, but in different ways.
So you can take
True.
20 HP back.
Ooh,
We'll
thank
make you feel good.
That will be much better, yes.
Yep.
Wartalk, are you still that close? Or is my
What?
roll 20 just way out of date?
Oh no, sorry, I forgot to actually my character. Just I'm over by this guy.
Okay, there we go.
Billy, you should back up too.
Yeah.
Heal and
Before
get the
I-
fuck out of there.
Before I do this, I'm gonna second win myself.
Okay,
Oh.
I get 10 health back.
cool. Oh, both of you have taken a total of 3. Oh no, wait, never mind. You took a total of 6 now, Wartalk, didn't
Yeah.
you? Never mind.
Yeah.
Alright, and
That's
then
how math
I'm gonna pull out another throwing implement, which I guess it would be a hand axe, chuck it at the switch of the red, blue, yellow boiler.
Okay, make another attack roll.
That is lot. It's more than 18.
Okay, that hits. I rolled damage.
It does 10 damage.
Okay, yeah. Easily just chunk. You see the switch throw, and the machine just shuts off.
Do I die?
No, you do not.
Thank
the
God.
first boiler, by the way, did
Wartalk
cut back
does.
on after it zapped all of you.
Aww.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
let's take a look at what color the steam is now.
Okay. Now you are getting just blue.
Hey, Jeff. Is that one closest to the
Alright.
wall?
Alright, I'm gonna move to the southernmost one, the one just blue, and I'm
Can
gonna chuck.
I'm
Sorry,
gonna
what were you
move
gonna do?
like up.
Can I mage hand like the boomerang out of there?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Can you also get my
the
hand axe back?
Probably. Yeah.
I seem to have better luck with the hand axe, so I'm gonna stick with that.
I'm not gonna get near Jeff. I'm just gonna keep the mage hand at a distance and hand it to him.
So honestly, with
Thanks.
this, since you guys have figured out the mechanism now, I'm not going to make you keep rolling for it. Jeff, you managed to chuck the axe and the boomerang. Maybe you miss once, but you know you
And
just get it
mage
mage-handed back, and you easily find the next 3. So it's blue, and you get the lowest one, and then it's blue and purple, and you get the second one, and then it's blue and green, and you get the top one. And in each order, you turn the machines off. Now, as you turn the 4th machine off, the automaton goes dormant.
We'll walk up to it.
The room
Oh.
is dead silent now, actually. All the whirring
thank
and
God.
clanking and whistling is just calm. Okay, you walk up to it.
I'll like look around it, look for an orb.
Make an
Knock on it a
investigation
little bit.
check.
5.
You knock on it a bit. Many parts of it sound hollow, and you don't really see anything that looks like it would house an orb.
Sage will also try investigating.
Okay.
I don't know where its balls are, y'all. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where it keeps its ball.
Sage rolled a 19 for investigation.
Okay.
But Shadra is an expert on this matter.
Shadra kind of
Neat.
goes up to it, actually with her thieves' tools, and is kind of like tapping on it and trying to like pry at certain panels. And she manages to find something that she kind of calls y'all's attention over to, and she says, "Hey, guys, look at this." And she gestures to a plate that is kind of up, sat on like the thorax of the thing, that she kind of clambers very carefully up to. Jeff, I'd like you to make an acrobatics check for her.
Jeff has to make an acrobatics check?
Sorry,
Oh,
Ethan,
Shadra does.
I'd like you to make an acrobatics check for Shadra. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Player name, not character name.
Sorry, she got a 17.
Okay. So she clambers up it expertly, and she starts trying to like pry at the panel, but she can't quite do it. But she kind of points and says, "Look, it has an inscription on it. It looks like there's a circle, like an orb inscribed here. I think this is where it is, but I don't think I can open it." Just to make it more mechanically sound, go ahead and make a check with thieves' tools, Ethan. Which I think
Okay.
she doesn't have expertise in them, so I think it's just proficiency bonus on top of
That's
Dex.
fine. Let's see.
Actually, it might
That
not
would
be
be
on
a-
top of Dex. I think it's just proficiency.
I don't know.
I feel like Dex is appropriate for Thieves' Tools. I don't think there's behind it.
I would say
Yeah.
so too, but I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, you could just say it is. You're the DM. You have the power.
Yeah. So yes, I can rule it either way, but I like to know what raw is just so I have a basis for them. So the rule apparently says proficiency with these tools lets you add your proficiency bonus to any ability checks you make to disarm traps or open locks. Since it specifies an ability check, that sounds like it's going to be using Dex to begin with. So yeah, Dex and
Yeah.
proficiency.
Cool. It would be a 19 total then.
Okay, yeah, she tries at it for a moment, but she's pretty sure that nothing she has can get through it.
Does it need a bit more elbow grease?
I don't think so. I think it's just it has to be open maybe magically or maybe from within.
From within, how would we?
Wait, where is this? Where is this again on the thing?
Kind of on the thorax.
Should we go in through the map?
We could.
Can we?
You could certainly try.
Jeff, give him a boost.
Let's go. Don't,
Who-
Jeff, this is important. Don't try and kill me this time. Okay, let's go.
What am I doing? Am I throwing you up to the mouth?
Like,
Or am I just
lifting.
giving you a boost? Okay. Alright, fine. I'll give Wartalk a boost to get on the
Why
thing.
do you have to go for the most violent option?
I'm not sure what the plan is.
Plans to see if we can get
I
in
don't
it somehow.
Give
We
it a
can
live.
person ladder it.
Can Shadra get in it?
Is she slimmer than you, Wartalk? You're probably about similar build.
Probably about. I don't.
I don't know what Shadra's build is.
I think technically can't Kayana use a wild shape to get in there?
I
I mean,
could.
but if we can get in without, then
Yeah. I suppose I would be probably the slimmest build out of anybody.
Yeah. Definitely have the narrowest shoulders.
Give me a boost.
Alright, I'll give Kayana a boost because she is the smallest one.
Okay.
The smallest child.
It looks like Ilya's also gesturing to help. So Jeff and Ilya kind of each leg up and push you forward or upward towards the steampunk Kamaji's face, and you kind of try and open the jaws a little bit and peer in, and you might be able to fit in initially, but you can see like very very close to the opening. It is a just maze of gears and mechanisms within this thing. You probably wouldn't have enough space to move around unless you wild shaped, but you're not sure if you'd ever have enough space to unwild shape until you got back out.
So it's not this way.
Okay. Bring back the small child.
All right, we'll help you down.
Okay. This thing's in a pit, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we could try going from below.
Metal music.
What?
He's in the pit.
Oh.
The steampunk Kamaji comes alive and just starts moshing.
Oh, hell yes.
The boilers come back on, but it's all weed.
Oh lord.
Giant fake
Really
machines.
sucks.
I'm home.
Excellent.
But yeah, maybe we could try going from below rather than through its mouth.
Yeah. Is there any? Do you see anything down there?
No.
Okay.
It gets pretty dark pretty fast. What little you can make out seem to be tall pistons and pipes that extend downward. At this point, Travian kind of pipes up and says, "You know, you may have missed something on the sigil if you're stuck."
That's a good point. I actually was gonna go back.
All right, I'll help Kayana off the statue thing so she can go back and read the rune again.
All right, go ahead and make an Arcana check with actually make an investigation check with advantage, because you've been told there is something more there to see, so you're very much on the lookout.
That wasn't the best ever. Investigation. That
advantage?
is it. Yeah. I rolled a 3 and a 10, and I get +2, so that's 12, dude.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Do you need a second set of eyes, Canna?
You can
I
ask
think
for
so.
one more person to look at this. Well, okay,
Yeah.
mechanically, I'd like to say you can only ask one more, but there's no good reason in character for that. So all of you can look
Right.
at it if you want.
Warthog, why don't you give it a look? I might just be. It's like reading the same words over and over.
Yeah. I mean, you've been looking at it for a while, so you need a break. 17.
Okay, that's enough. As you're looking over it this time, there seems to be in the inscription, those boilers are definitely on.
I was afraid of that. Okay. So I think the boilers need to be on for us to get the orb.
Aww.
So was the steam was just a ring around it, right?
Not really a ring. It was kind of being pushed out from different pistons and valves. It was mostly constrained to that ring, but it wasn't like a wall or anything. It was kind of sparsely populated throughout it.
Does it look like it would be? Did it look like it would have been safe to stand near where the thorax
No.
was? No, not at all. Okay. So, need the thing. Those need to be on though, for us to get the thing. They need to be off for us to not die from it. All right, Jeff. We rely on you for these times of intense thinking. What you got for us?
I don't know, man. I'm not good at puzzles. Are you sure we didn't just need more elbow grease to pry that thing open?
Jeff rolls athletics.
I mean, I could try getting up there and giving it some muscle.
A good 1-2.
Yeah, give it the old 1-2.
You know what? Screw it. Why not?
There's gotta be.
What's the worst that could happen?
All right, let me get more dice out.
We'll let him go do his own thing while we, think.
I'm gonna try to climb up the statue to get to the panel.
Okay, make a acrobatics or athletics.
Gonna do
Guessing
athletics, 'cause I'm
athletics is
much
better for you.
at this. Okay, that was pretty good. It's like 21.
Okay, so you kind of take the boost from Ilya, but you kind of jump from the platform she gives you with her hand, and leap onto one of the legs and kind of like monkey bar over to the next and swing yourself up onto the back of the creature, onto Steampunk Kamaji, and you kind of crouch down where Shadra was, and you look until you find the inscription. What you want to do?
Is there anywhere where I can like grab onto that panel?
Not easily, but you can certainly try and get your claws under it. There is
Can I
like
get,
a
like,
seam. It's just not very pliable.
Can I get like an axe in the seam and use it as like a lever?
You could certainly try. You want to make an attack roll on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an 18 to hit.
Okay. The axe slams into the metal husk of this this automaton, and kind of bounces off with a ringing sound. And just as you think it's kind of useless, one of the pistons spouts a gout of green steam.
Hmm.
So the top one.
I'm gonna hit it again.
Blue. You slam into it again, and another piston sprays a gout of blue steam.
I'm gonna hit it again.
Green.
So the top one.
All right, guys, I think we might need to turn the top one back on.
Okay, you might want to not be up there.
Oh yeah, that's true. I was the one turning these things on.
Well,
Well,
more
also you
like so
might
that we don't
be-
murder you when we turn it on.
Yeah.
Fair.
See, because
All right,
unlike you, I don't want to mortally wound my party member.
I'm sorry, man.
Okay, so honey, this is just Jingar all over again. When you electrocute your party members.
All right. Yeah, this isn't the first time this is happening.
No, it's not, and it's not the first Dragonborn character you've made that this has happened to.
Beautiful.
All right,
And
Jeff
it won't be the last.
will climb down from the automaton and return to the top boiler.
Okay. Oh, shit. I missed something. Kayana, make a perception check. Retroactively. Take your time.
I think that means nat 20. We're good.
18.
Plus 7.
Okay, cool.
That's 25.
So retroactively, as you were peering into the mouth of the automaton, you saw a dim glow deep within it.
Okay, so there is something inside.
Yep.
Okay,
With a 25, it didn't look like it was coming from the same place as that panel. It's something else.
All right, is everyone a safe distance away so I can turn this one back on?
Yeah.
Alrighty, you turn it back on, and the electric sparks begin issuing forth from it again. The automaton has not yet revived. It is still dormant.
Okay.
I'm gonna climb back up the automaton and hit it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Do you want me to like throw a sling bullet from safe distance, Jeff?
Actually, no, that's probably smarter. You do that.
Gonna do that.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Uh,
I'm just kidding. It's huge. Your bonus is enough to hit it. It's not moving or anything. So
but-
as the sling bullet whacks into it, just kind of plinks off of it, blue steam issues forth from one of the pistons.
okay, I
This
do
one
it, like,
actually
5
comes
more
kind of like
times.
out at you. Not like at you, but like out of the circle a little bit.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Yeah, like a bunch more times.
Yeah.
It's blue and purple.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I turn the blue and purple boiler back on.
Okay. Comes back
Oh,
on.
so now it's gonna be only blue. I'll check it.
Yep, blue. Blue, 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 blue,
Only
blue,
blue.
blue, blue.
All right, turn the only blue one back on.
It was the reverse thing. Okay. Turn on the last one, Jeff. It's probably gonna be fine. You might not die.
Are you sure?
I'm not. Let's go.
Please check it with the sling first, just to
Alright.
be safe.
I'll check it. Check it and see if it's the only one remaining.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right, turn it back on.
You all blow up. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Dang it!
The boilers all spring to life again, and you begin hearing that clinking and churning sound resume. And the automaton kind of spins back up, and you see its insectoid legs kind of begin cranking gears and pulling chains and moving vats around once more. You see kind of capping and uncapping steam valves as well, kind of regulating pressure to something. Wartalk, as this happens, you hear a noise from behind you. You turn around, and a doorway has opened, and a hole has kind of appeared in the floor in front of that doorway. And you hear kind of the whirring of gears as a platform is raised. And on that platform is a spider-like creature.
Run.
What?
I don't know
It's-
how far I can make it away after I saw something coming up, but I
It's
would
not
like
moving.
to make it. Oh, okay. Then I'll just be like here-ish.
Okay. You see what looks like a gleaming brass spider-like construct. It has these very intricately carved pointed legs that kind of pierce into the metallic floors, and you can even see slight dents that it makes as it moves along them. It seems to be standing kind of guarding that doorway, blocking your path forward.
Well, it should not be doing that anymore.
So it's not moving.
Yeah, it's just staying there. It's kind of eyeing you.
Hello?
Actually, its eyes are kind of cool. They're flashing bluish opalite gemstones that kind of flick back and forth. Hey, Cody.
Hey.
I hate to say it, but that was not half an hour.
Boom. I'll cautiously approach the little fella.
Okay.
I'll approach as well.
As you actually, Wartalk, move yourself
Yeah.
back 10 feet.
There.
As you get about 10 feet away from it, it starts chittering and tapping each of its feet on the floor in front of it like a warning.
Oh, that's not a good thing. Okay. Okay. You're good. I'm gonna step back again. Okay.
Ping.
Yeah. No. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Uh,
What do you want?
It doesn't respond.
Dang
Travian
it.
is Travian is kind of just smirking.
You got to make smarter machines, man. All right. I'm just saying, my machine can hear me.
Oh, it can hear you.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
So it's
We
just rude
probably-
then.
we probably need to shut it down. Is my guess.
Wait. What's its name?
Let's see. Are your positions on the board accurate?
Mine is accurate from where I would be, I would say.
Yeah, Jess is accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Is it time to roll initiative?
You see as the spider kind of stands not quite up, but like lifts a section of its body, and two of its hands like raise upward and like clack into place. And you see a magical shield
Nope.
kind of form around one, and it's kind of spins another hand, and you see like a sigil briefly appear in like this blue ephemeral energy, and then three spikes of magical energy begin kind of rotating around its other hand. Now it's time to roll initiative.
Okay.
Darn it.
Whew. Whew.
Did he not
Oh,
answer me what the name is?
Nope.
Dang it.
I'll roll for Tasia because.
Come on, monster.
Oh, never mind. Cody's in roll 20 now. Cody can play his own character.
Yes, I can.
Hey.
Also, I've been getting some like breathing feedback.
Me?
Possibly.
It ain't me.
I'll just stop breathing.
Sounds
Okay.
good, Betty.
I've tried that.
Good luck.
You only pass out. It's lame.
All right. I don't know. Can you guys open the turn order thing, or is that just a GM tool?
No, I can see it.
No, we see
Oh
it.
yeah,
we
look
see
at
it.
that. Oh
I can see
wait,
a
that's
nice shiny 21 by the spider.
wait. Why does it say Totes dying on me?
You set your own name to that during
Oh.
the fight with the fiend.
All right, no, it sounds about right.
Good.
Good job, Nick.
Doing my best.
Can y'all edit the numbers next to your names?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, no, that's wrong.
If y'all would like to put your initiatives in.
Okay.
Nice 3.
I rolled a natural 1.
Nice.
I just backed out of the game. I will get back
GG.
in it and fix it.
Why?
I think they rolled a natural 1 actually.
Whoops.
All right. That's we have somebody beating.
It was really bothering me that you didn't have a name, Kayana.
Oh. Am I the
What?
only one without?
What?
Yeah,
I'm
you
the
have
only
one
one
now.
with a name for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
same.
can't see anybody else's names.
That's fun. I don't know why.
Yeah, me neither.
It'll be fine. I know
Probably
people my
wildfires.
token.
Is that including on the turn order thing?
Yeah. I
That's
can't see anybody else's name on a turn order.
super weird. All right. Let's go ahead and start. So,
Shader
Shader,
is first.
you're up first.
Okay. There's the big. Oh, gross. Yeah.
She's just like, I don't want
Ew.
spiders.
Just spider.
Chitter.
Bambalam chitters.
No, I'm just gonna come up right around here the corner, and I'm not getting close to that damn thing at all. I'm gonna pull out my short sword, knock an arrow, or a short bow.
Oh
sorry.
shit! Just take out the sword and just. Alright!
You hit it like it's tennis.
This shit don't bend at all!
Gunblade.
Hold up an arrow, just
A sword is a bow with like a 600-pound pull.
Whoa.
It will bend, it just ain't easy.
I've got arrows like
Hold up,
sword's like
I have the
halfway through.
perfect image.
halfway through the shafts, and I'm just gonna throw the whole sword, trying to do extra damage.
The perfect image.
The shovel bow knight.
Need to
Oh my
find-
god, that's amazing.
There's a companion image to that.
The
What?
shovel
There
that
is.
learns archery.
Why does that shovel have like the fucking wing spear like tip on it, like the flanges?
Yeah. I
They
don't-
forged it so it could have cavalry effectiveness because wing spear.
It's the guard for when you duel with
Yeah.
another man's shovel. You want to
Yeah.
protect your hand.
The guard is like way fucking up there.
Should-
It's
Uh,
beautiful.
You should show the
Choice.
chat for stream
And that is a
I should. You're right.
so they can see this glorious image.
24 to hit.
Ooh.
That will hit. Give me a sec to show that off to stream though. Switch.
Otherwise,
to
we're
the
just talking about
Discord.
shovel knights like weirdos.
I mean, we are weirdos, so that's recent.
Yeah, I
Now we're
was about
talking
to
about
say.
shovel knights like normal people.
Hey, Yacht Club Games, sponsor us.
That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so that's the image in all its glory. Okay, cool. So full screen that again and switch back to the roll 20. I should move that, shouldn't I?
Right, so your shovel hits
center
him.
that more. Your shovel do hit. Roll damage.
And I assume that's not with Sneaky Snake, so that is just going to be 10 points of damage.
10 is not bad at all.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give bonus action to War Talk. Bonus action help, so you got... and I'm just going to go kill it. Just kill it.
Okay.
All right. So that's advantage on his next ability check or attack roll?
Let me double check, but I think it is advantage on attack.
Okay. Just let me know if it includes any other d20 rolls. But yeah. Okay. It will go next. And actually, so as its reaction, it's going to let off its readied action, which was the magic missile that it had spun up. So it's going to...
I'm in danger.
Oh,
Uh,
actually, no. What it's gonna do...
We're in more danger.
yeah. We're in so much danger.
I should have asked first.
Cody, what was your total roll?
For what?
The attack.
Oh, it was a 24 to hit.
Okay, it actually misses.
Yay.
This thing has shield.
So you
No!
watch... No. You watch as it sees the bow readied and like watches you let loose this bowstring. But as the arrow begins arcing towards it, it kind of rears back and you see its eyes glow suddenly, and the arrow just slows immensely. And you can actually see it kind of waving. You know how like an arrow kind of bends and flexes as it flies? You can actually see that bending and flexing as the arrow inches through the air, and it just dodges it easily.
Kylo Ren ass spider. Fuck.
It has a
Uh,
plus 10 bonus to AC against ranged attacks until the start of its next turn.
Well then.
However, that causes its magic missile to dissipate, and it loses that spell slot. But it is going to use its turn to... Ah, shit. Unprepared DM. Give me a sec. Actually, you know what? That's going to take longer than just looking it up on Roll20.
I hope that you just gave this thing only shield and has no attacks.
Yeah, of course. That's what I do.
yeah, no, he doesn't try and kill us.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
You're just like, yeah, kill.
So, it begins to... You see these eyes glow again, and then you see an amber-colored stone in its chest plate kind of begin to give off a pulsating light. And I would like all of you to make wisdom saving throws.
Oh.
Yum yum.
I rolled a 18.
21.
17.
That's a 4 from me, dog.
And Hefe?
Hefe had 18.
Yeah, sorry. What did Warthog get?
Same.
18.
Okay.
Oh, wow. So as far as under 14 goes, it was only Shadra?
Correct.
Okay. Shadra, your speed is halved. You have a -2 penalty to AC and Dex, and you cannot use reactions. On your turn, you can either use an action or a bonus action, not both, and you can only make one melee or ranged attack during your turn. You feel as you look into this glowing amber energy, you feel your mind begin to slow, and your body with it, until it feels like every movement you're kind of pushing through molasses. It's difficult to move, to have that same dexterity that you were used to feeling in your muscles. You've been slowed, motherfucker. All right, Ilya,
Hi.
Mess him up.
you up?
I am going to move.
Hit him again.
Hit him again.
Hit him again.
Hit him for the first time first before you hit him again.
I'm gonna move here,
Hit him so hard it's like you hit him for the second time.
and I can't hit him with melee, so
Why's
he
that?
can be.
What?
No, I'm out of range.
Oh.
He's too far away.
Oh.
But I'm gonna hit him with a Sacred Flame.
Okay.
That's a dex of 16.
It's a good thing it's not an attack roll.
Yeah.
15 fails.
Sick. He can take
So, oh.
12 damage.
Shit damn yo. Alright, he takes 12 damage. You watch as the blast of radiant energy kind of scores across the brass construction of its carapace, and you see a scorch mark kind of appear. Not like a literal scorch mark, because it's not like literal fire, but like a scorch mark that would appear from radiant damage. Okay, anything else?
Divine, fuck you.
Actually, yeah. Wait.
I'm waiting.
I have
Eagerly.
Radiant Soul.
You do.
I'm gonna add 5 to that.
Cool.
So he takes 17 damage. With the
Nice.
cantrip.
That scorch mark. That scorch mark kind of grows a little bit, and there's a little bit of a dent in the armor. Kind of hear it like. I can't
Well,
do
that's
good
good.
spider sound effects, but
Smokey
you know.
the Bear's worst nightmare.
No.
All right.
Walk up to the
Nice.
spider with a can of hairspray and a lighter.
Not at my house.
All right,
Oh my
Warthog, you're up.
Oh my god.
That's a neat trick, friend. I'm gonna cast slow on him.
Okay.
With 16.
Ooh, 16. He makes it.
You little. That was a neat trick. You little. I'm gonna. You know what? You know what, friend? I'm gonna be. Get him, Shadra.
Shader's like, okay.
Fire the arrow faster next time.
All right, Hefe.
Yes, I walk forward and murder it.
He tackles the statue.
I got a natural 20. Oh god.
Nice.
Kill it. Kill
So
it.
it takes a lot of damage. It takes 19 damage from the first attack.
Okay.
And the second attack coming in hot.
Now's
That
the
is
point where I finish giving Wartalk the OK hand signal.
As
And
Jeff's
then,
blade just crashes down into the brass carapace and like makes a heavy dent in what would be its clavicle if it were humanoid.
attack 2 is a 21 to hit.
That hits.
Cool. It takes 11 damage.
Nice.
All right, that's my turn.
All right, Kayana, you're up.
Shit. It's made of brass, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
I think I might know why you're asking that question.
I want to cast heat metal on it.
Do it.
Okay.
This is gonna
Wait.
go either one of two ways for us.
What?
Either really good or really bad.
Either it dies or next turn a flaming spider jumps on Jeff's face.
What do you mean? It's a good in both situations. Okay, so let's
Wait,
see.
wait, no.
Maybe he'll get the eye.
No, not that.
Okay, so
Anything but that.
the only save involved is if it just takes damage and it makes a con save to throw or drop the metal object if it can, but its entire body is metal, so I don't think.
It cannot drop its entire body.
Yeah. Why
Fucking
doesn't it just
try.
stop, drop,
I
and roll?
mean, if
We've
you
all
I
been
cast,
try to
there.
do every day.
Yeah.
I mean, if it casts astral projection, it could drop its entire body, but it can't.
It does not
Or
have a
it-
spell level that high.
So
it
it
just
takes
needs a racist uncle to say something really terrible, and then its soul will leave its body.
Oh, word.
so it takes 11 fire damage.
Alrighty. Am I correct that you all cannot see its HP bar?
Yeah.
Correct.
Good.
Yeah.
What they
I can see mine.
Good.
I-
You should.
I'd probably.
So you could definitely see the thing. I don't know if you've set it to anything. Alrighty. Anything else on your turn, Kayana?
Oh shoot! Accidentally closed roll 20. Nah, I'm good. That's gonna be
Okay.
the
So
end.
Kayana reaches her hand out, and you see it kind of begin to glow with a pulsing red light or orangish light. And Jeff, you can kind of see the brass beginning to sizzle and steam. The cold air kind of giving rise to this like vaporizing like water vapor in the air. And so you watch the steam kind of rise off of its body as it begins to sizzle and heat, and it kind of writhes in pain as the metal that it is composed of begins to just burn.
Do robots feel pain?
Yes.
Okay, Shadra, you're up.
This seems wrong.
All right. So with
Jeff starts having.
He started it. Did you feel bad when we were murdering the werewolves? They felt a lot of pain. Like, a lot.
You got a point.
Yeah, murder it.
Okay.
So with my usual speed and gusto, I'm going to pop back around the corner,
Nice.
pull out the bow again, aim, and fire an arrow that, from my perspective, I assume is going to go real fast.
Yeah, it looks the same to you, sure.
It's super speedy. Ooh, good. Love that. That is does a 12 hit?
It does not. And it hasn't gone yet, so it still has that plus 10, and it's just like,
And I'm going to pop back around the corner.
I'm just gonna be back behind him.
And I'm going to just turn to Wartalk, and as Jeff takes his turn, I'll eventually finish emoting.
I love this.
Alright, the spider's out.
Yes, indeed it is. Give me just a sec.
If it actually jumps my face, I'm gonna be upset.
It's,
It's gonna.
it's fine. It just wants to lay eggs. Don't worry about it.
No, not. The only thing worse than eggs is flaming eggs.
Why are they flaming?
Because Cayenne's set on fire!
Yeah,
That's
I think it's
fair.
gonna do that.
Wait, what? Huh?
Nani?
Alright, fine, just leave the eyeball out of this.
Changer's doing that thing where you grimace and then shake your head really fast. No, but it's like a normal, like slowly rotating no.
This is actually kind of fun.
Oh no.
Jeff, I'd like you to
Weird.
make a charisma saving throw for me.
Oh no.
Oh,
I
what the
remember
fuck?
last time a Dragonborn character probably had to make a charisma saving throw. It didn't go well.
You
No,
thought
it
one eye was bad. Try 8.
I got a 14.
If you get 8 eyes in you, so help me.
Jeff blinks out of existence.
Huh?
Sager does not see that.
I'm gonna just
What?
be pointing past Shadra Jawgape.
Jeff, you have been banished. You
Crap!
find yourself in a dark space. You can see dim outlines of the room that you were in before, and somewhere off to your right, a good ways, maybe almost 100 feet away, you can see a slightly glowing spheroid object. Kind of looks like a rough stone.
Yeah.
However, you can only see out of 2 of your eyes.
I'm gonna start reaching. I'm gonna reach out to my head. Where's my third eye?
There is an
Nice.
empty eye socket that your finger kind of like
Oh, no.
squishes inward against.
Oh my god, is Warthog pointing at the eye on the ground?
He's not.
Wait.
The eye is
the eye
also
on the-
gone.
Okay.
Yes, those sound effects are accurate. Beautiful. Alright, body horror
Wait,
time.
No. No. Who's next? Whose turn is it?
It is
It's
still
Ilia's
the
turn.
spider's turn.
Oh. Wait, I thought that was his turn.
That was one of the
That was
things
the
he can do.
eyeball's turn.
He then moves up next to you, Ilya,
Right.
and he is going. He actually doesn't need to. Well, actually, yeah, he doesn't need to be that close to you to do this. So he's actually going to go around to say here. He kind of scuttles away from you and moves over to the side. As he's going, though, he kind of glares at you, and he kind of rears up even further so that only 4 of his 8 legs are to the ground, and you can see kind of like the center of his abdomen begin to like pry open, and you see a gem within that begins to glow this like blackish purple color. It's almost like it's glowing like a source of light, but it's almost like it's taking light away from kind of the rest of the surroundings. And as you stare at it, I'd like you to make a Constitution save.
Is it still concentrating on slow?
Yes, this does not require concentration.
15.
Doesn't banishment require concentration?
Shit,
It
does
does.
it?
Yes.
It does.
Oh, well, Shader, you're no longer slowed.
Shade just finally starts to move properly again.
Shader suddenly starts shaking her head at normal speed again. She's like,
Yeah,
what?
it ramps back in from slow to like fast.
What was your save, Ilya?
15.
Okay, that is its DC, so you do manage to make it. You take half damage, which will be 8 points of
Okay.
necrotic damage. The rest of you, so Ilya, you kind of feel the vitality kind of seeping out of you. You feel like more, more aged, more close to death.
Ow.
The rest of you literally see her age. She looks about 8 years older.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, for an elf though.
So yeah, it's fair. So like 8 years
Well, I'm a half elf.
expanded out to what it would be for a. No, half elves live
One
closer to like
one
human
hair on your head
lifetimes.
goes gray. Exactly one hair on your head goes gray.
Am I considered a cougar now?
This is the worst fight ever.
Thanks.
This
I
is-
hate it.
This is the worst.
All right, Ilya, you're up.
Sick. Does he still have that situation with the AC going on?
No.
Hit him again.
It stops at the end of his turn. However, it was a reaction.
Ah.
So you kind of mechanically, it's a reaction. In character, you saw him kind of do something as he watched the arrow start to come towards him. That slowed it down.
Okay, I'm going to move about right here, just in the way of everyone, mostly the spider and them. And
Are you deliberately out of
I'm
melee range again?
yeah. And I'm gonna hit him with that magic. That good magic. Sacred Flame.
Okay, dex save.
16 dex.
He rolled a 16,
Damn it!
and his modifier is positive. Sorry, friend.
Damn!
This die is doing well for me. This nice, thunky die.
Get it out of here! Get it out of here!
Can you guys hear that as it rolls on the
A
table?
little bit.
Dude,
Yeah.
Excellent.
Hit
I
it
like it.
again.
All right. So, anything else, Ilya?
No.
Hmm.
Well, I'm gonna glare at him a little bit.
Sometimes your cantrips do really well. Sometimes they don't. That's the thing about them is they don't have the half damage, so they can be quite powerful, but they have a worse failure mode. All right, Wartalk, you up?
All right. Well, I don't want to burn him out of spell. So I'm gonna Eldritch him.
Alrighty. Eldritch Blaze.
I have advantage on this.
You have advantage on the first one.
Yeah, on the first one. Okay.
From what?
The help.
Oh yes,
From
yes,
Shadra.
Shadra.
So that's a 24 for the first one.
That hits.
Okay. I'm gonna use my new one of these dice. That's 4.
4 points.
Second one.
Okay, he makes his con save. He makes his concentration
Dang
check.
it.
That is a where'd it go? Hold on. There it is. 27.
To hit?
Yes. And 6 damage.
Fail, con, fail,
Makes it
con.
again.
No!
All right.
Just like,
Oh wait.
But how much damage was it total?
9 damage total.
Okay.
I'd like to push him up against the wall while I'm at it.
All right. He gets pushed up against the wall. Is that just
It was
part of
10
what you
damage
do with
total. 6 plus
Eldritch?
4. Did you roll 3 on the first one or 4?
It was 3.
Okay, never mind. You're right then. Sorry.
Is pushed against the wall just part of your invocation for Eldritch Blast?
I can move 10 feet away from me. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, he has moved 10 feet back. Hefe, you are banished. I think you cannot make it at the end of your turn.
I'm going to start running towards the light.
that's
Well,
always worked out well for
well-
everyone.
Okay.
While shouting like, "Eyeball, where'd you go? Where's
Alright.
my eyeball?"
Uh,
God, I hate this.
assuming you're dashing, you get most of the way there, and you can begin to kind of make out the source of the light. It looks to
Yes,
be
I'm
a
dashing.
crystal of sorts, like a weird glowing kind of like a very rough like ore for gems, not like a fully refined, but it still has some of the like other minerals kind of combined with it.
Gotcha.
That's as much as you can manage to get through. You still do not see your eye.
Dang it. Oh well. My turn's over.
I mean, it is pretty hard to see your eye.
Yeah.
Your own eye.
Indeed. All right,
Yeah, but
Kayana.
there's just an empty hole in my head now.
It's not like that was any different from usual. Anyway, as my bonus action.
Got him.
Wow.
We were all thinking it.
Yeah. So my bonus action, deal heat metal damage. That's 3 fire damage.
Alrighty, it takes 3 fire damage. It is starting to look rough.
I
Yep.
think for my main
It
action.
needs to make a concentration check.
It does. Yes.
Yes, it do. It passes.
Ooh.
As my main action, I'm gonna cast Starburst at it.
All right.
What flavor?
And we're gonna go with grape flavored.
So necrotic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
necrotic.
All right.
Hit him with the nasty one.
Nasty boy.
Okay, so that's 15 plus 7, so 22?
Yes.
Yes, that hits.
22 to hit. As I just lob the purple energy. And I'd like to imagine we get the little feathery effect too.
Yeah. So a bit tit for tat, Ilya. You watch as Kayana hurls this burst of purplish light at the spider, and you can kind of see it does the same little, like, kind of seems to absorb the light from around it, but it kind of glows in this blackish purple radiance. And as it slams into the spider's body, you can see a burst of feathers kind of like enshroud the creature's head and shoulders for a moment before dissipating. And how much did it take?
Oh, I didn't roll for damage yet.
I know, my descriptions are just so enthralling.
They are. Oh, where's my other D8?
Got that DM secret sauce.
That's right, okay.
$1,000
there's-
dressing.
It's ketchup and mayo.
Oh, that was good. That was really good. Okay, so that is 11 plus 8, 19. 19 necrotic damage.
Nice. So that's still a DC 10. Well, let's see
Yeah.
if it makes it.
Did it make it?
Uh-oh, what is this? Is
Oh,
that a
wrong natural
fuck?
one.
That's
Yeah.
a fuck!
Fuck!
Nice! Fuck that guy!
All right.
I love that.
Jeff, you actually pop back into the place where you were before.
Ah!
So you're kind of immediately dropped 60 feet backward, and your eye is back in place.
Oh, thank God. Don't leave me again.
Huh? What? And I'm just looking over at Jeff like,
We didn't leave. You did.
Yes, of course. Sorry. Thank you for helping with that. Carry on.
All right, Shadra.
Oh, wait, spider. Gotta kill the spider. Yes.
As you're saying that, it's kind of beginning to like bear down on you, but Shadra manages to get the drop on it because her initiative is first.
Okay. Let's go.
I saw you hiding that from other people. I didn't know I could see that.
Ooh. Don't way to out me out like that, Matt. Thank you.
please
Just-
don't.
So that'll be a runny run.
All right.
And then I
Ooh, I gave away so much.
yeah. And then I suppose dash 5 feet with my bonus action.
Man,
'Cause the arrow's
Warthog,
not-
you just had to push him back.
You do like a sick like backflip in the air just so you can use all of your movement up.
I go back and forth
Has to get
6
away.
times. Just like- Yeah, I'm like, oh, do I want to? Oh, I don't know. You couldn't see me move that because I didn't put it down, so that sucks. Yeah, and then I'm gonna pull out my my short sword and just sort of like whack at it, but not really looking. Just sort of like gross.
It's a robot.
Okay.
It's a robot with too many legs.
It's got too many legs. It made Jeff disappear. It slowed me. I don't like it.
Do I need to get the can of axe and the lighter again?
Yeah.
And that is going to be a 24 to hit.
That hits.
Okay.
Ilya's the one in the group that takes the spiders outside with a cup.
I do that too.
Oh, I just smashed them.
And that'll be 7 points of damage.
Nice. Okay. You smash it with your blade, and you see you kind of score where Jeff had once hit it before with his sword, and you dent it even deeper, and you kind of watch some of the metal begin to like splinter and cave. It's starting to look pretty damn rough.
Cool. And then I am going to back very far away.
Okay. Are you taking disengage as a bonus action? Or are you taking a?
Nope. I'm just gonna.
She already used her bonus action.
Yep. I'm just gonna take it. I just don't want to be in range with it.
All right. Well, lucky for you, there's a fun bit about this guy's stat block. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, he misses. He just whiffs completely.
Yeah. That was 100% was like run, whack, and run away.
Gross.
Okay. Does anybody know how to do cones on roll 20?
Nope.
I don't
nothing.
like how you're asking about that.
Lots of
It
things
only
are
extends
cones.
5 feet forward at all times for all cones. It casts the cone on itself.
We could just have you draw like 2 polygons, or like draw
Yeah,
like a
that's
polygon with a line
probably
tool.
the thing to do. Polygon a line.
Here,
Okay.
I will draw the cone. I have drawn the cone.
Oh my god! I just deleted myself.
No, wait, come back.
Oh, Cody.
Shit, I don't actually know how to get you back.
I don't know how
Just
to
draw
do it
it.
either.
Just freehand stick the gear and move that around.
Fuck.
Here we go.
Go into the journal, maybe?
I don't have them saved in the journal, I don't think.
Oh, fuck.
No, they were all just things.
There we go. Fixed it.
Oh, I love it.
Can we get an F in the chat for the untimely demise of Chandra? D?
He's nuts.
I picked a key. I had like a 1 in 26 chance of it being right. I think
You were
it's
close.
pretty close. Yeah.
Did you
It was
get a
only off
discount
by one.
keyboard there, friend?
That's
Only
yeah,
26 keys.
I have to write out the word period, and then I've got a macro that'll adjust accordingly.
You got the same keyboard? Nice. Really save desk space.
Yeah.
Also,
It's
I
like
don't-
the job simulator keyboard. It's just 1 and a 0.
I don't fucking know, so I'm giving you a different mini.
Okay.
I don't have a mouse. I
Ethan.
type up, and it moves up a pixel.
Ethan.
What?
Ethan.
What?
Stop shit posting on the map.
What?
Don't what me?
I would appreciate it if you could delete those.
I don't actually know how to delete it.
You gotta highlight it and then you hit the delete key.
Be careful not to highlight yourself.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh no, it's
Rita.
gone.
I can do it. I didn't even know that. That's fun. I could probably delete all of you.
Do it.
You
Do it.
could, but why would you want to?
Oh, God.
Ha!
I've been asking for years. Dang it.
Beat you to the punch.
Ethan, stop.
I haven't done nothing.
Okay.
There's a
That's
line.
right. You haven't done nothing. You've done something.
Okay, so, Jeff pops back, Shadra attack, and, Shadra, you should have control of that ranger. Give her,
There we go.
Nice reclass.
Oh god, I'm not about to. Oh, all right. Well, let's get you over here, and then
You left your leg behind.
I know. There we go.
that's a little bit
Nope.
big for your circle.
It's fine. It works.
Close enough. All right. So, you dash away. It misses you, and then it is its turn. So it's gonna come up. Say, it's gonna back itself into a corner, and it's going to open up its chest again, and you kind of see a lever kind of swap the gem that had been there when it opened up for you, Ilya, and another one comes out, which is ice blue, and it begins
Crap.
glowing. And I'd like all of you to make dexterity saving throws. Whoop whoop.
Oh,
Okay.
this cone of cold shit again, Matt.
Always.
I think Cone of Cold is a con save.
It is. I was wrong when I said dex.
Well, it doesn't matter in my case.
Killing me once
That's
wasn't
actually-
enough, Jeff?
better
Not
for me.
I'm sorry.
13.
So,
I rolled a 7.
I rolled 18.
the fuck? Why can't I draw this?
I got a 22. I keep rolling nat 20s on the most mundane shit.
It's fine.
Even though my die doesn't say it, I gotta fuck.
Nice.
Oh, girl.
Good for you. Good for you.
Shadra's not having a good day.
That's what I get for coming in late.
Yep.
Yeah, you die, I guess. Oh no.
So I'm trying to
Oh,
figure
that's
out
not
how,
fun.
where this goes. It's 60 at its max length. So I guess it would be like that.
Hey guys, if you think this Cone of Cold will kill Phaedra and or Warthog, like, comment, subscribe.
So I think that it's probably not gonna hit Kayana or Shadra.
Oh, thank God.
Ah!
Whoa!
Gah!
Ah! It deleted you all.
Oh,
Well, that's fine. We're just gonna theater of the mind the rest of this because I don't feel like getting everybody back.
Yeah, just say who it kills.
So everybody but
Are you
Kayana and
able
Shadra is
to-
caught in the blast. There is. I
Are
don't
you
think
able
there's
to
an undo.
undo?
Is there?
Control
there should
V?
be.
Oh, there is.
Oh.
We live!
Okay, nice.
All right, everyone, no more theater of the mind. All the people on Twitch have to get on the roll 20.
Yep.
yeah, everyone in Twitch get on roll 20. We'll
All
send you
right.
the
So
link.
so who failed?
I got a
what
7,
what were
so
your
I
rolls?
failed. I got
Okay.
a 7.
Ilya
I got
I got a 22.
and Wartok.
13.
Okay, so Jeff and Wartok fail. Ilya passes. So Jeff and Wartok will take full damage, and Ilya half. I'm just gonna have it roll in the thing.
Well, I have resistance to cold, so I still take half.
Quarter then.
I didn't pass the save, so.
Oh. Half then.
Yeah.
Warthog's just here like.
In other words, fuck you, Warthog.
No.
Hurt me.
No, stop.
That's a lot of pain.
All right, so 33 to Wartok and 16 to Ilya and Jeff.
Ow.
Alright, let's go. I'm alive. Hurt me harder.
And seeing you come back into existence, Jeff, it is going to target you, and I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. This time I got a 20, dirty 20.
Okay, you will take half. That is 10 points of necrotic damage.
Ow!
As the gems swap quickly and you see this glowing purple pulsing black light. And as you stare into it, you're kind of dazed and you can kind of feel some of the life being sucked out of you, and some of your scales lose a bit of their sheen and you look a bit older. Alright, so that's his turn. Ah, god damn it. Guess
Yeah, we lost
what
the initiative order because everyone died.
Yeah, okay.
I think Ilya was next.
Ilya was next.
I was at the bottom.
Yeah, I think I remember the order. I just don't remember all the numbers.
It was Shader, then Spider, then Ilya, then Warthog, then me, then Kayana.
Yup.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Nick Hun, what are you at?
I'm fine. Don't worry about me. 5 health is plenty.
Okay. I'm gonna use my bonus action to use Healing Light, Wartalk.
Okay.
16.
Okay. Take it. Thank you.
And then I'm gonna just gonna Sacred Flame the guy. He's gotta you gotta be 16.
Okay. Sorry, I was doing initiative.
Ah, you good, fam?
Fails. Rolled a 4.
Hell yeah.
Kill.
Ironically enough, 17 again.
Kill him.
So Ilya, how do you want to do this?
Gonna back him into a corner like how you would a spider with a spray can. Just like, no!
Alright. So with a third blast of sacred energy, she takes the spider that has already kind of backed itself into a corner and begins pushing it further and further back, wielding the light as like the light of Erendil in Sam's hands against Shelob, like, just back! And the spider kind of rears up against the wall, and she lets loose with sacred flame, and it blasts into this construct's chest. And as it was kind of rearing back, the blast catches it off guard, and it falls backward and tumbles into the pit, falling down, never to be seen again.
Thank God.
Well,
Travian just...
I'm bleeding.
Well done.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
bleeding on Warthog.
what?
Come here, if you will.
Okay.
That's fun. Somebody getting a phone call?
Yeah,
That
it's
sounded like
Cody.
Cody's phone.
Ah.
Also, are we still like aged from that thing?
Oh, yes, but it'll go away in the morning.
Alright.
Face mask.
So, well done. You've done quite well for the first level. Most people spend a good day or so trying to figure that puzzle out, and those who do often don't make it past the spider. So well done, the group of you. If you don't mind, if you all come close, I will alleviate you of your wounds.
Okay.
Appreciated.
The group of you kind of gather around him, and he takes a seat and begins drawing onto the floor with a chalk-like substance, some arcane-looking circle. He spreads a few bits of like powder and other materials upon it. Some of them are recognizable, others are not. But as he begins to kind of cast the magic within, like over top of the circle, the floor begins to kind of rise, and it kind of molds itself into this interesting kind of trapezoidal shape of sorts. and it kind of lifts up off of the ground and floats sort of above each of your heads. And as it does, the lower part begins to kind of emanate a bright light over each of you that heals you as it kind of goes over. Let's see, what is the total for that spell?
Everyone gets 100 hit points back.
That's not power word heal, or whatever the fuck that is.
Live. Like, has to live.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's definitely
Yes,
like
that
live
is
damn you kind of thing.
pretty high level. So
Actually, I don't even think I was. Yeah, I wasn't even damaged.
That must be nice.
That must be nice.
Here, take my place. You can get over there. Come on.
I'll take her share of the healing.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll also
definitely
take
abstaining.
Jeff's share of the healing.
all of you who are in the place gain 22 health back.
Hooray. I'm at a reasonably comfortable level of health again.
As he
I
casts
am
Mass
one blow
Healing
max.
Word at 5th level.
That's a lot of levels.
Hey, let's not fight this guy. He was on the edge before, but
All right. Well, that was well done. So follow me, and
Okay.
he brings you forward through the door that the group of you, or that the spider had seemed to be guarding, and you see what looks like a ceremonial hall of sorts. It is
What the fuck?
flanked with statues of these immense-looking beings. Let's see.
Would these 10 statues perhaps be the heroic deck?
They are not, actually. As you go to them and you read the inscriptions beneath them, some of the names are familiar to you. Specifically, you see Torm, and Ogma, and Helm, and Gond. But many of the others are not. You see strange names like Ilmater, and Tyr, and Eldath, and Mistra, Lathander, Azuth. These names are all unfamiliar to you, and
Would any of them be vaguely familiar to me?
go ahead and make a religion check.
Oh, that was pretty good. Religion. Oh, I do actually get a +5. That's a 22, actually.
Okay. There's something about this place that kind of seems to be jogging your memory a little bit. And certainly with the others there that you do recognize clearly, like Torm and Ogma and Gond. Like these are all gods of a sort. And you recognize some of the names of the others. Like you recognize the name of Tyr, and you recognize the name of Mistra and Lathander. These three names in particular kind of like you feel a thrumming in the back of your mind. Like these are names that you were once familiar with, and you know they ring a pretty strong bell. You don't necessarily get enough to like associate their domains, but they all seem to be good deities. And indeed, like as you look around, none of them give any sort of a negative connotation to your memory. All of them seem to be neutral or positive, and all quite major. You associate each of the names with power, even if you don't know exactly what kind. Travian is kind of walking behind you and says, I don't know if any of you, I don't know how many of these names, if any, you all recognize. I don't know what they go by in the world at large, or if any of these gods are still in contact with the world, but what you see before you are the patron gods of the Ulvari Empire. These were our muses, our sources of power, the gods to whom we prayed and gave devotion, and who in return helped us grow strong and wise. It was long ago. But still, we have this hall, hoping that one day we may be reunited with them. How do you all feel about the gods?
What do we feel about the gods? What about them?
Have your interactions with them been few and far between? Have they been positive, negative? As cloistered as we are up here, I may know much about things you know little of, but I am not privy to many of the current affairs of the world outside. I don't know what gods are powerful, what gods are weak, what gods are active. I'm aware that the gods largely left this world, but I don't know how complete it was. I don't know what the common man's view of the deities is. They were, and are, quite important to us. Just idle curiosity.
This entire time, Ilia's probably had her head bowed, praying to the Torm one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see where one of you stands.
Yeah.
A good
Well,
choice,
my,
cleric.
Says
All
so.
that
Sorry, Jeff, what were you saying?
Oh, no, you go first.
I was just saying, Travian to Ilia says, a good choice, cleric.
I think many of them have been or forgotten or have faded into obscurity. Not all of them, obviously, but many of them. Some of them feel vaguely familiar for myself, but I think that I would be a special case in that regard.
Yes, you seem different somehow. The magic that flows around you, it's not the same.
You'd be correct.
In fact, if I had to hazard a guess, it looks something like, well, like the weave looked before the scouring.
Oh, you can see it,
I can.
just plainly.
It takes some doing, but yes. If you survive and have the time and inclination, I could perhaps show you how. It is not an easy skill to learn, but you seem to have an aptitude.
Yeah, you could call me a fast learner, I guess.
And perhaps the fact that it flows differently around you, that may mean, well, I can't say if it would be for the better or for the worse, but it may mean that it works differently for you. It may come more naturally, it may be more difficult to see, but I would imagine it would change something. It would be interesting to find out. And the rest of you?
Well, Mom and Pa like to go to church a lot. We came from a small town. Not much to tell.
No,
Gotta be honest with you, I don't even remember what god or gods were worshipped in my hometown church. I never paid much attention in Sunday school.
That's all right. It's not easy when you're young to fully grasp the splendor of the gods. I can understand the lack of a wish of a young boy to pay attention to the words of some old preacher. But it's good that your parents took you. That means quite a bit, actually. Very well. You must be tired. You could take a bit of a rest here, if you'd like. And if not, or once you're done, we'll move forward to the next floor. And there, the real challenges begin. Take time,
Sure.
if you wish, to pray to any of the deities. I think you'll find that they can hear you a bit more strongly in here than they can out there.
That sounds about right.
Short rest sound good to everyone?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Near as I can
Cool.
tell, it's something about this place and the barrier that was put up seems to counter somewhat the effects of the scouring. The influence of that great chaotic being is not quite so strong here, so the gods may be a bit more bold. But yes, please, take your time. I'll rouse you in
That
an hour.
certainly sounded right.
Okay.
Alright, I suppose we will take a short rest here and do whatever it is the party members want to do with talking to the gods or whatnot.
Sounds good. And that, I think, is a good place to end the session.
Mhm.
Alright,
So we will pick back up there next week. If y'all want to do anything during the short rest, you can consider that in the coming days. And yeah, I think this was good. This was a good session.
Mhm.
it was.
I
All
set
right.
a spider on fire.
Me too.
All
Word.
right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in,
Hey.
and we'll see you same time next week.
Bye.
This has been Beyond D&D.